From pretty much the present, this is your host, Adam Graham, bringing you a week of old-time radio detective podcasts from 2012. Because these podcasts are many years old, any offers or information included in the podcast may not be valid unless they're currently reflected on our Great Detectives of Old Time Radio website at greatdetectives.net. Here now is a week of old-time radio detective podcast. Welcome to the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio from Boise, Idaho. This is your host, Adam Graham. If you have a comment, email me, box13 at greatdetectives.net. Give us a call, 208-991-4783, and become one of our friends on Facebook, facebook.com/Radio Detectives. And be sure and follow us over on Twitter at Radio Detectives. Well, our listener support campaign continues, and I want to thank all of those who supported the campaign. Just runs through tomorrow. And I want to thank Nikki for sending along a gift, and we'll send access to our premium site. And during our listener support campaign, which ends tomorrow, all donations of $20 or more will receive a free digital copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know I Learned from Columbo, and an additional digital gift of their choice. You can pick from the items at support.greatdetectives.net. All right, well, now it is time for today's episode of The Adventures of Frank Race. This one is called The Baradian Letters.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Tom Collins. The war changed many things, the face of the earth and the people on it. Before the war, Frank Race worked as an attorney, but he traded his law books for the cloak and dagger of the O.S.S. When it was over, his former life was over too. Adventure had become his business. The Adventures of Frank Race. And now we join Frank Race for the adventure of the Baradian Letters.
Paris, at the end of a windy day. Dusk had fallen, but walking along the Quai du Louvre, we'd been able to see whitecaps on the River Seine. And now, waiting to cross the Rue de Rivoli, we caught the Eiffel Tower looking as though it might take a bow any minute. Everything seemed to be going places, particularly masculine hats and feminine skirts. Mark and I were on a holiday after finishing an investigation in Holland. I'd sort of like to get around and see things on foot, but Mark, well...
Listen, Race, where you going now?
At the hotel.
Another 7 or 8 blocks? I could never make it. Not unless you want to haul me piggyback.
Take a cab.
Not me. I don't want no part of them flying bedsteads they use in this town. Look, I got a better idea.
One.
I'll stop in at the American bar in the next corner. I promised that bartender in Brooklyn I'd swing by and shoot a fat one.
All right, I can meet you there later.
Swell. Make it about 8, huh?
Our hotel was on the Rue Montmartre. A fairly big place with one of those open-work elevators that whiz you up and down with all the speed of a truck in compound low. Our room was on the 5th floor. As I got here, a man leaning against the wall eyed me with the friendly gaze of a bartender inspecting a dubious check. Farther down the hall stood another of the same ilk, an amiable citizen who blew cigarette smoke in my face as I passed.
Hello, Race. We've been thinking you'd never come.
There were 2 of them, both brunettes, both beautiful. The one who had spoken might have been 30. The kind of 30 to make a 16-year-old regret his youth. The other was younger, maybe about 22. I'm sure I'd never seen either of them in my life.
You don't remember me, do you, Grace?
Can't say I do, but you're nice to have around. Both of you.
September 14th, 1943, in St. Calais. Does that mean anything to you?
Yes, it does. Means a lot.
2 days before, on September the 12th, you had parachuted down near Le Mans for a rendezvous with other O.S.S. operators. But something went wrong.
So I went on the run and ended up at a farmhouse near St. Calais, where a certain lady... Wait a minute. You couldn't be Paulette Dubroc.
But of course.
Paulette Dubroc. How did you know I was here?
Oh, I saw a little squib in the newspaper. So I came.
Well...
I came, Grace, because I am in trouble. But before I say more, I want you to know my friend, Amy Kenter.
American?
Cleveland, Ohio. Hello, Race.
As I came in just now, I passed a couple of men in the hall. One was pockmarked, with a small mustache. The other one had a ring in his left ear. Would they have anything to do with this trouble you mentioned?
Oh, so they followed me here.
Who are they?
Oh, they've been stalking Paulette for days. There seems to be a gang of them. Last night she was fired upon.
Not a hangover from the underground, is it, Paulette?
I don't know, Grace. I only know that I am not as carefree as I used to be. I'm afraid. Oh, they're here. Don't open that door, Grace.
I have the adjoining room. Slip in there, both of you. Here. When you hear me let them in, leave. Where can I find you later?
Across the Seine. Just off the Boulevard Saint-Michel. There's a small orphanage, Saint Martin's. You'll find us there.
Yeah, I'll come. We'll talk this over. Well, come in. It's always nice to have company.
Where is the woman?
You're the boy I saw in the hall, aren't you? The one who blew smoke in my face.
Get away from the door to that other room, monsieur.
Sit down, make yourselves at home. I'll order drinks.
You have had your warning, monsieur. Now I act.
I rarely use a right-hand punch for an opener. This lad had come in chin first. His pal gaped down at him, as though looking at a freshly hooked haddock. Then, staring at me, the pal backed out and highballed down the hall. I relieved my conscience caller of the blackjack, which he'd tried to brain me with, and then frisked him for anything else of interest. He had a wallet containing several 5-franc notes, and a letter scrawled in undecipherable French, and a card bearing the embossed name of one Charles Baradian. While I was doing the checking up, my visitor stirred, came out of it. You'll be all right in a few minutes.
Pierre. Where is Pierre?
Your friend left for greener pastures. Here's your wallet and its contents. Who's Charles Baradian?
I do not know.
All right. Suppose I have a right to retain some self-respect. I'm going out. I suggest that you get yourself a drink, lie down for a while. Just don't be here when I get back. The American bar was finished in a sort of Rococo modern. Everything about the place had the light touch, including the size of the liquor portions. Mark made me know to check his bartender friend, a garrulous soul with an expression of a benevolent beagle.
Glad to meet you, Race. Any friend at Dunham is a friend of mine. What'll it be, huh?
I'll take a scotch and soda, chick.
Sure.
Plus a serving of information.
Oh, sure. What kind of information?
The name, Charles Baradian. Does it ring a bell with you?
Baradian. Yeah. It rings a big bell.
Where would I find him?
I listed all the rest of the elegance. Boulevard Houseman.
Thanks, chick.
Oh, sure.
Now, wait a minute. You going out there now?
I thought I would.
Well, I'm going with you. This sounds like a deal we should play back to back.
So long, fellas.
Getting across the threshold of the Baradian mansion was like trying to pry your way into the Chase National Safety Deposit Room without proper credentials. My particular obstacle was personalized in one Terry Meglin, a brawny specimen with the title of private secretary. The instincts of a barroom bouncer.
You can understand, Mr. Race. It isn't only a question of looking after Mr. Baradian. There's his collection to protect. Almost $1 million worth of rare violins and objects of art.
In that case, I can appreciate your sense of responsibility. Don't ever expect Mark Donovan's vote if you run for public office. You would have preferred to wait for me in here.
Incidentally, I must limit your interview to 20 minutes. That's a rule we never break. Here we are.
Charles Baradian must have been about 45. A gray-haired man who toyed with the violin as he talked, while watching it with the stare of a hawk circling above a chicken run.
Know anything about violins, Mr. Ray?
Not as much as I'd like to.
There is nothing quite like a fine violin. It looks beautiful, feels beautiful, makes beautiful sounds. Very few women have all those attributes, am I not right? Meglin tells me you came to talk about Paulette de Broc.
Yes.
Are you a friend of hers, or is it that you represent her?
I'm groping a little, so I'm going to be frank with you. I suspect that you have something against Paulette. I don't know what or why, but I thought you might be willing to tell me.
Yes. Yes, I will tell you. Several years ago, I allowed myself to become infatuated with Paulette. She was the only woman to whom I ever wrote letters. Lately, I have been getting those letters back, one a week. Each letter cost me quite a sum of money.
Why do you feel you must pay for them?
In a few weeks, I am to be married. Also, I am in the process of embarking on an important business venture. Shall we say I feel I cannot afford the publicity? Frankly, Mr. Ace, I've grown tired of it. Of course, if Paulette is willing to accept a lump sum. After all, I was once very fond of her.
I see. Suppose I talk to her. Return tomorrow.
I have no objection. There is just one thing. You might tell Paulette I don't mind buying anything that will keep me happy, so long as I pay for it just once.
At Saint Martin's orphanage, I was ushered through to a secluded terrace where Amy Kenter sat in the sun. Delectable figure in sweater and shorts. She got up to greet me.
Hello, Ray. Paulette hasn't come in yet. She should be here soon, though.
Are those freckles I see on your nose?
Oh, yes. Darn it.
Count them among your assets. They go with the rest of you. And the rest of him.
And the rest of me?
He stood there looking up at me with half-parted lips. So I kissed her. And it was everything fresh and delightful.
Oh, gosh. That's having your prayers answered. I wanted you to do that, Race. Do my fingers feel rough on your face? Yes. This other hand's smooth.
What are you doing, gardening? Got a blister under your chin, too.
Oh, I'm a beaver when it comes to work. Race, I did want you to kiss me, but how about Paulette?
Well, that's a question I was about to ask you. How long has she been dabbling with blackmail?
Paulette?
She ever told you anything about a man called Baradian?
Well, no. Who's he?
A dangerous citizen. No one for Mademoiselle Dubroc to be tangling with. Is she still Mademoiselle, by the way?
Oh, gosh. 1 minute the man's kissing me. The next he's giving me the 3rd degree.
I'll come back to our personal relations later.
Well, she's still not married.
What tie-up do you have with this place, apparently?
Oh, Paulette just keeps it going, that's all. I'm a career girl. I work here.
Where'd she get the money?
Her job. Oh, but maybe you don't know about that. She's been doing the lead in a revival of Rain at the La Victoire.
You sound just like a press agent, Sherry.
Well,
Hello, Race. Got a kiss for me, too?
how long have you been here?
Just arrived. I don't need to have been here to know that you already have kissed Amy. Or you wouldn't be my Race. Come here.
Well, Race, looks like I've been replaced.
Well?
Yeah. You must be knocking him dead in the rain.
Oh, I have been doing all right. I shall do better now that you are here.
How long have you known Charles Baradian?
Charles, there's a name out of the past.
He thinks you're blackmailing him.
Blackmailing him?
Right?
Hello, Race, what is all this about?
A matter of some letters he wrote you several years ago.
In 1940. I knew Charles Baradian just before the fall of France. He was very attentive, but to me it was not important.
He's been getting a letter a week in the mail. for a price. He'd like to buy all of them from him in one package.
But I don't have these letters, Race. I have not had them for years. Why, you don't appear to believe me.
Yes, I have to believe you. But you'd better let me break that news to Baradian. By myself. Next afternoon, I rented a car. Mark and I then drove out to the Baradian mansion. I told Mark to cruise around the block till I came out. This time I had no trouble getting in. Meglin answered the door himself, and I was led to a drawing room smothered in draperies. Here, a stranger leaned against the ornate mantel. He looked capable of breaking up a dark strike, and the cut of him spelled cop in any language.
This is Mr. Race.
Oh, I am Benoit, monsieur, of the Sûreté.
So our little matter of blackmail becomes official, does it?
I am concerned with blackmail, monsieur. But more than that, I am concerned with the murder committed in this house last night. The murder of Monsieur Charles Baradian.
We'll return to the adventures of Frank Race in just about 1 minute. And now, back to the adventures of Frank Race.
I was sure of one thing. My Paris holiday had definitely turned sour. Here I'd been acting as an apparent go-between in a blackmail transaction. And now its victim lay sprawled on the floor of his study, murdered. Around his neck, an ugly red welt where some sort of cord had cut and strangled the life out of him. I had a close look at the wound while Benoit laid out the details.
Well, he was first hit on the head, probably with a poker. And a fine violin is missing from the collection. What was its name, Monsieur Meglin?
Guarnerius.
Yes, well, we might call it a typical case of murder and burglary. But you can understand, gentlemen, that in this matter we cannot afford to accept the typical.
What about the weapon?
Naturally, it was not left behind. And now, Monsieur Race, if we could repair to another room.
I was going to be questioned and probably placed under arrest. So I maneuvered to let Meglin and the detective precede me from the room. Then swung the door shut and locked himself in.
Hey, he locked the door. Hey, open the door.
I stayed there, frozen, waiting for Benoit's mental machinery to work.
Open the door.
If he thought the way I anticipated, he'd figure on my breaking for a window. In that case, he'd move to warn his men on the outside. I waited until I heard them move away. Then, after a few more seconds, I quietly turned the key and opened the door. The hall was empty. As casually as I could, I walked to the front entrance. Front door stood ajar, but no one stood on the steps outside. Sidling out, I caught sight of Benoit, talking and gesticulating to a uniformed gendarme. Then I saw Mark in the car, and as he came abreast of the door, I made him a play. Get going, gun it! Get going! Hey, Empress, think you can get away from him?
You kid? This might be Paris, but I learned to drive in Brooklyn. Told you I'd get away from him. Right, what do we do now?
I'm going to look up the location of Paulette Dubrock's apartment. You can drop me there. Then I'd like you to run down as much information as you can on the Baradian household.
Check. When'll I see you? And where?
That's a little after 4. I have a call to make. Meet me at 7 at Saint-Martin's orphanage. An actress playing leads usually does pretty well when it comes to money. But Paulette's apartment proved to be frugal, even old-fashioned, to the extent of having portieres between the living and dining rooms. Paulette wasn't at home, which gave me a chance to look around. On a small dresser in her bedroom, I spotted a couple of letters postmarked January 1940. Both were epistles of passionate drivel, and both were signed Charles. I heard the outer door go shut, so figuring that Paulette had come home, I went forth to greet her, and... I gained conscience again with the realization My head was resting in a feminine lap. I looked up and saw Paulette.
How do you feel, Race?
You're very attractive, you know? Even with your face upside down.
Oh, Sherry.
What made you slug me?
Name of my mother. First it is blackmail I'm guilty of, and now you accuse me of hitting you on the head.
Someone did.
But of course it was not I, though, Race.
I wish I knew you really stand.
I have not lied to you about anything.
You did about those letters from Baradian. I found this pair on your dresser. Said you hadn't had them for years.
You could not believe that they might have been stolen from me?
Just returned? On the day after Charles Baradian's murder?
Race, no. Not Baradian.
Yes, Baradian. Strangled last night. And I wish I knew how to advise you. I don't know whether to say turn yourself over to the police or get out of the country. Where I'm lying, the last thought seems to be your best bet. Probably I should go with you.
Race, I'm really in trouble. No?
You're really in trouble? Yes. You'd better get out of Paris for a little while, anyway. Change your appearance. You've done it before. And take care of yourself, actress. In front of the orphanage, I found Amy sitting in our rented car with Mark.
Oh, want to take me for a ride, Race? Such a luxury over here.
Why not?
Oh, fine. Just let me drop these packages inside the door. I'm a hoarder. Did you know that?
You've been doing all right with her, ain't you? Maybe you ought to slow down.
Why?
Well, she's just a freckle-faced kid a long way from home, and
Don't tell me you're picking up a set of ideals.
Nuts.
Any information on Meglin?
Well, in 2 hours, I didn't put together no Gallup report, but I did find out he keeps a room at a hotel called a Platonaire.
Uh-huh.
And, he used to run a kind of theatrical agency in the U.S., booking second-rate concert violinists.
Didn't take long, did I?
Violinist. That's interesting.
Now what are you talking about?
Violinists and violins. And a lad named Meglin. I wonder what a fine denarius is worth.
Denarius? What's that?
I always thought it was a kind of spaghetti dish.
It's a make of violin. One of the old-timers.
Oh. Well, where'll I drive you people?
Find that Hotel Platonaire. I'd like to see a man about a violin. I drew a blank at Meglin's hotel. He was out. And had given no indication as to when he'd be back. But later that evening, just before midnight, Mark and I had him for a visitor at our hotel. His attitude hadn't changed. He was still the same self-contained career boy. But he had come to see me, which indicated a fissure of worry somewhere within him.
You called on me, Race. Why?
I think you're involved in Baradian's murder.
Blunt, aren't you? Well, it won't work with me. I have an unbreakable alibi for last night.
I'm sure of that, or you wouldn't be loose. But do the police know of your interest in violins?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You do, but I won't press it. I'd rather emphasize another point. I found 2 of Baradian's letters today. With fingerprints on one of the envelopes.
That's tripe, and you know it. Paper doesn't produce a good enough impression.
In this case, the impression doesn't depend on the paper. It happens to be on the glaze formed by the glue.
You're lying.
It would have been a shot in the dark, but it registered. Meglin had turned ashen. He walked to a chair and slumped into it, trying to ignite a cigarette with shaking fingers.
What's your stake in this, Race?
You got all my credentials yesterday. I'm an investigator. I have a client's interest to protect.
What are you going to do with those letters?
I imagine the French police would be rather enamored with them. Don't you?
Now, listen, Race. You can tag me with the blackmail end of this, but not with Baradian's murder. Baradian!
The bullet had come from the fire escape. Mark made a lunge for the window and disappeared in pursuit. I yanked at the phone and put in a sharp summons for a doctor, and then I turned to help Meglin. I knew that nothing was going to do much good. The bullet had nicked his lung, and the man was coughing his life away.
Race. I'm sorry, Race. Whoever it was got away. How's Meglin?
You might adjust that towel for him. Hello?
Race?
Yes.
This is Amy Kenner. Can you hear me?
Yes. Where are you?
At the orphanage. Oh, Race, I'm worried. The police are here and Paulette's coming in at any minute.
Paulette? Well, I advised her to get out of Paris.
Well, she called me about an hour ago. Said she wanted to pick up some things. And
Well, I'll be there as soon as I can. Tell her not to say anything. Mark,
Yeah.
how is he?
We ain't got nothing to keep us here, Race. This boy's dead.
Come in, Monsieur Race. We've been expecting you.
Where have you got her?
Right in here.
Should I come in, Race, or should I go upstairs and poke around like you told me?
Better go upstairs and poke around.
Right through this door. Right here, Race.
Hello, Grace.
I thought you were going to get out of town.
I am not guilty, Grace. They should know that. No woman would have the strength to strangle Charles Baradian.
We can't sell him on that, Paulette. Baradian was knocked unconscious before he was strangled. As Monsieur Benoit will tell you.
Exactly. A woman could have done it, or a man, or both, and with blackmail as the motive.
It points to Paulette and possibly myself.
Exactly.
What was to prevent someone else from blackmailing Baradian? Someone who knew Paulette. Someone who'd gotten hold of the letters.
Possible, but not likely.
I think it quite likely. Don't you, Amy?
I? Why, I don't know what to think, Grace.
Well, you might think about why you wanted me to believe you didn't know anything about music, about violins.
I don't.
Look, career girl. All violinists have one thing in common. Calluses on the fingers of the left hands, just like the ones you had. And very often, where the instrument rubs against their necks, they develop small blisters, just like the one you had.
Oh, all right, so I'm a violinist. That doesn't prove me guilty of murdering Baradian.
You, want these items now, Race?
No, come in, Mark.
Yeah. I found them in a room.
Oh.
Just like is expected.
2 violins, eh? What meaning does it have?
One of them, no doubt, belongs to Miss Ketter. The other, if I'm not mistaken, will prove to be the Grenarius taken from Baradian's home. You had to get some profit out of murdering him, didn't you?
Oh, you're insane.
You and Meglin were in on the blackmailing together.
No.
When I came into the picture, you had to move fast for a big payoff.
That's not
But
true.
Baradian balked and threatened to call in the police.
Well,
So you killed him. And you killed Meglin in my hotel room, didn't you?
Oh, prove it.
And phoned around the corner to make me think you were here.
I found the other item, too, Race. A violin string with what looks like blood on it.
The strangling cord. Ironic, isn't it, Benoit? A collector of fiddles murdered with one of his own violin strings. Tough luck, Amy. With you, hoarding didn't turn out to be an asset after all.
The Adventures of Frank Race, starring Tom Collins with Tony Barrett as Mark Donovan, comes to you from Hollywood. Others heard in tonight's cast were Ann Stone, Trudeau Marson, Gerald Moore, Stan Waxman, and Jack Crucian. This series is written and directed by Buckley Angel and Joel Murcott. The music is composed and played by Ivan Ditmars. Be sure to be with us again this same time next week for another dramatic chapter in The Adventures of Frank Race. Art Gilmore speaking. This is a Bruce Ells production.
Welcome back. Well, I've noticed that whoever Frank Race's love interest is for the episode tends to have a higher than usual chance of being the murderer. You know, Mark Donovan just needs to ask, hey, Race, who do you like best? Well, and then he will know. But overall, an interesting case calling back the days in the underground for Frank Race. All right, well, we turn to your listener comments and feedback, and Skyla writes, thank you so much, Adam. I think you have the best old-time radio podcast out there, and I've listened to every one I can find. Thank you for making so much available to your listeners. Well, thank you so much for your support once again, and that will actually do it for today. Join us tomorrow for the Fat Man as it makes its premiere. And then join us back here on Monday, another adventure of Frank Race. Well, this is the last day of our listener support campaign. I want to thank Greg, who sends along a contribution. And as usual, any contribution we receive of $7 or more, we'll send along access to the premium side. Any donation received by the end of today will also send along a special thank you gift of your choice from the items listed at support.greatdetectives.net. We have a lot of great radio dramas there available for digital download. In addition, you get a copy of my ebook, All I Needed to Know, I Learned from Columbo. Not only is this the last day of our listener support campaign, support.greatdetectives.net, but it's the first day of The Fat Man. Richard Rogue was the first of the great hard-boiled private eye shows, and ABC was right on this trend. The network, a small and fledgling operation that had been spun off from NBC and formerly been known as the Blue Network, was on the leading edge of this private detective hard-boiled trend. They released not one but two shows on January 21st, 1946. One of these we heard right before we played Barry Craig in Ideal and Crime with William Gargan. This to me is the much better show, The Fat Man. And early on in particular, the show made a lot of its association with Hammett. Although The Fat Man doesn't appear in any Hammett novels, it evokes the image of the Fat Man from Maltese Falcon, and the radio writers who truly created the shows kind of made a composite of the Thin Man and the Continental Operative when formulating his character. Hammett's main role throughout the entire run of the series was merely to collect the checks. The star of the show, and we'll talk a little bit more about him next week, was J. Scott Smart. He was best known for appearing on Fred Allen's show as part of Allen's Alley as Senator Bloat, and was physically very much the part of the Fat Man, actually outweighing the weight stated on tonight's program by about 40 pounds. Here now is the 19th Pearl.
Something in the air? You bet. Excitement. Because 4 exciting new shows go on the air tonight, starting right now. ABC brings out its first Monday night surprise package labeled Dashiell Hammett's Fat Man. The Fat Man is the stalwart detective whose huge size doesn't slow up his progress a bit when it comes to sleuthing. And speaking of detectives, you'll want to meet hard-talking Ross Dolan, played by William Gargan. His business is crime. In his words, I deal in crime. And he follows in half an hour. And then the Dean of Music Makers, Paul Whiteman, and his new show, Forever Tops, the top tunes that will live forever. Paul Whiteman plays them on Forever Tops. And did you know that your top stage and screen laugh favorites, Jimmy and Lucille Gleason, have opened a diner? What a diner. You see, that's what we meant when we said excitement in and on the air tonight and every Monday night on ABC. Right now, let's take a trip into adventure with Dashiell Hammett's Fat Man.
Wait, 247. Fortune, danger.
Who is it?
The Fat Man.
The American Broadcasting Company brings you Dashiell Hammett's latest and most fascinating character, the Fat Man. The hard-boiled, hard-hitting adventures of a criminologist who tips the scale at 247 pounds. Tonight's adventure, the 19th Pearl. And now, here is the Fat Man.
One of the worst things about being fat is feeling thin. That extra load you carry around is something you never think about till you bump into a full-length mirror or drop a penny into a drugstore scale. Even then, you don't feel fat. The only time you really feel it is when you run into a beautiful woman. That's when the old collar kind of chokes you and your hands look big and your legs are hard to cross. That's when you're glad you've got a busy job like mine, solving crimes. This one began in Grand Central Station, right near the information center. My mother was going away for a weekend. I was there to put her on the train.
You don't have to wait around till the gates open, son. I've gotten on trains before.
It's all right, Ma. It's a free night for me anyway. Want some peanuts?
For heaven's sake, no.
I do. Be right back. Bag peanuts, Jenny.
All right.
Better make it 2.
Here you are. Okay.
Sorry, sister. I didn't mean to bump into you.
It's all right. I wasn't looking where... Please, will you do me a favor? It's terribly important. Here, hold this bag for me. Oh, quick, he's coming.
Who?
Don't let him see me. He mustn't know I'm here.
Why not? What have you done?
Nothing. Stand in front of me, will you? Quick. Put your arms around me as if you were kissing me goodbye.
Say, what kind of a game is this?
Please, cover my face and kiss me.
Okay, sister. How's this?
Hold it.
How long?
Oh, no. No, don't stop. Just keep your arms around me.
As long as you say, baby. You know, I've heard about things like this, but I never figured it would happen to a guy like me.
All right. That's enough.
I wish I thought so. We ought to do this more often.
I'll have to run now. He's gone.
Maybe you'll be back.
Oh, no. No. I mustn't miss the train. Thanks ever so much for helping me.
Hey, wait a minute. Aren't you going to tell me?
No, there isn't time.
But I don't even know. Okay, sister. 2 ships that pass in the night.
Well, that was a fond farewell. Who was it, dear?
I don't know.
What?
Never saw her before in my life.
Is that why you were kissing her?
Don't make a romance out of it, Ma. She just borrowed me for a quick hug, and that's all there was to it.
Well, I don't know that it's wise to kiss strange women in stations, son. Have you still got your watch?
I've got more than my watch, Ma. I've still got her bag.
But how do you know she's on this train, dear?
I saw her duck into the car ahead.
Well, leave the bag with me. I'll give it to her as soon as we pull out of the station.
Are you kidding?
Son, we're going to start in a moment.
It's all right. I'll ride up to 125th Street.
Just to give her back her bag?
That's a good enough reason.
Well, be sure you get off at 125th Street. Oh, we're moving.
Okay, Ma. I'll take the bag up to her now.
What's the matter?
That dame's on the platform. I'm getting off.
Careful, son. Watch your step.
Sure. See you later.
Bye.
Good evening, beautiful.
Oh, you frightened me.
I didn't the last time. Want to play some more?
I don't think so.
Well, don't go away. I still got your bag.
Oh, well, thank you.
What's this all about, kid? Who'd you knock off?
I beg your pardon.
You must have done something. Otherwise, you wouldn't be running away.
Why not? Can't I be running away from danger? There's a man following me.
The guy on that train?
How did you know he was on it?
Simple arithmetic. You got on to give him the slip. He must have followed you. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got off.
That's exactly what happened.
What else happened?
I don't know what you mean.
Come on, kid. Tell me the truth or I won't help you.
I don't know that I want you to help me.
Okay, sister. I'll walk right out of the picture.
No, wait.
Changed your mind?
No. A man who's been following me changed it.
Huh?
He's standing right over there on the platform.
You'll be safe here, Miss Evans.
Is this your office?
Yeah. Step in.
Thank you.
Sit down. Make yourself at home. Every chair in this place is comfortable.
Have you sampled them all?
Every one. There's one thing I hate. It's sitting on hard wood. Have an apple, Miss Evans?
No, thanks.
Awful good.
No, thanks.
Well, tell me now. How long has this guy been following you?
About 3 days.
And you don't know who he is? Or what he's after?
No.
What do you do for a living, Miss Evans?
I'm an actress.
On the stage?
When I'm working.
Maybe I've seen you.
Not in New York. I haven't done anything here yet.
Rich daddy?
No. No daddy at all.
And what keeps you in those gorgeous clothes?
I have a private income. My father left me some money.
Those beautiful pearls, too?
These aren't real.
Aren't they? Let me see them.
Don't you believe me?
No.
Why not?
Because you're not a very good liar.
What?
Even experienced ones take a deep breath after every lie they tell. But you've been pumping away like an iron lung.
How dare you talk to me like that?
Get out of here, Miss Evans. I won't take your case.
You won't get it, you insufferable man.
Keep going.
What?
Keep yelling at me. There's someone outside the door.
You overbearing, conceited pig. If I were a man, I'd give you the beating of your life.
That's enough. Well, what are you doing out here, mister?
Nothing. I was just...
Hey, come back here, you. You son of a gun. I'll make it much harder for you when I catch you. You going to stop, you punk, or do I have to dive for you?
Oh, you big ape.
I'm not as slow as I look.
Well, you didn't have to tackle me.
I'm sorry, old man. My old football training. Can you get up?
I don't know.
There you are. Now, maybe you'll tell me what you were doing outside my door.
I was keeping an eye on Miss Evans.
That's an interesting pastime. Come on back to the office and tell us why.
It's my job. I'm a private detective.
Well. Who hired you?
Mrs. Stanton. Mrs. Jeffrey Stanton.
The banker's wife?
Yes. She wants a record of every move Miss Evans makes.
Why?
That's my business.
Well, maybe Miss Evans has an interest in it. Miss Evans! Miss Evans, where are you?
What's the matter?
She's gone.
A gentleman to see you, Mrs. Stanton.
Who is it, Carl?
He refused to give me his card, madam. He simply said the fat man is calling.
Fat man? What do you suppose he wants?
Some information, Mrs. Stanton.
Good heavens. What do you mean by coming in here unannounced?
But I was announced. I'm the fat man.
Well, I've never had the pleasure of meeting you, and I certainly don't intend to do so now. Show him out, Carl.
I don't think Carl is man enough, Mrs. Stanton. You'd better let me stay.
What do you want?
Some information about Miss Evans. I couldn't get a thing out of that clam you had following her.
What clam? What are you talking about?
Shall I call the police, Mrs. Stanton?
No. No, I can manage this, Carl.
Very well, madam.
Now then, what were you saying, Mr. Don't believe you mentioned the name.
I didn't. People remember me better as the fat man.
Oh, I know who you are now. Mr. Parker told me about you.
Parker?
The man you very nearly killed in the hall outside your office. Said you fell on him like a ton of bricks.
He had no right listening outside my door. Did you really hire him to follow Miss Evans?
I did.
May I ask why?
You shouldn't have to. I thought everybody knew I was anxious to divorce my husband. Miss Evans is just one of the grounds.
One?
The only one I'll need. You see, Mr. Stanton made the mistake of giving her a necklace.
What?
Quite an expensive one, in fact. Matched pearls.
Oh, I see.
You seem disappointed.
In Mr. Stanton?
No, in Miss Evans. You're not a friend of hers, I hope.
Are you sure he gave her that necklace, Mrs. Stanton?
Well, I believe it was a gift. I've never inquired. I don't really care to know how these arrangements are worked out.
In other words, your husband and Miss Evans...
Let's not put it into words, if you don't mind. There'll be enough of that when the case comes up in court.
When the case comes up, Mrs. Stanton, you'll have to prove it. And right now, your star witness, Miss Evans, is missing.
Oh, not really missing. Unless something's happened to her.
What?
I don't know. Frankly, I don't really care. Parker will find her sooner or later.
Where?
Probably at my husband's apartment.
Oh. Doesn't he live here?
No, not regularly.
Well, after meeting you, Mrs. Stanton, I can't say I blame him. Mr. Stanton in?
Yeah, he's in.
O'Hara, What are you doing here, Captain?
Come on in. I'm waiting for the medical examiner.
Oh. Who's dead?
Who do you think? Stanton lived here all alone.
He might have had company.
He did, a little earlier. There's a knife in his chest.
Who put it there?
I don't know. The murderer didn't leave his card. Want to see the body?
You might as well. Where is it?
Right over there in the corner. And leave those chocolate-covered almonds alone. The place hasn't been gone over yet.
When did all this happen?
Don't know yet. I just got here a few minutes ago.
And the body was right where it is now?
I'm sure it hasn't moved.
It's funny, isn't it?
What?
How a guy gets stabbed in the chest without putting up any kind of a fight. No sign of a struggle around here.
So what?
Nothing. I just don't like it, that's all.
Why not?
Because the usual place for a knife is in the back. The chest, you see it coming. You got a chance to protect yourself.
Not if you trust the person that's coming at you. Not if she's your sweetheart or something like that. Then you don't see the knife till it's too late.
What makes you think it's his sweetheart?
I don't. I don't even know if the man had one.
Well, then stop putting a noose around her neck.
Whose noose? What are you driving at?
Nothing. I just don't like your theory, O'Hara.
Well, it's apparent he was killed by somebody he trusted. If it wasn't his sweetheart, then...
Will you stop mentioning his sweetheart?
Why? Is she a friend of yours or something?
Don't be funny.
What are you mad at? What's seating you tonight?
Your theories. Stanton could have been sitting in that chair when he was killed. The murderer could have moved the body to throw us off the track.
I doubt it. The murderer didn't even have time to cover up the one clue that's going to convict him.
What's that?
Piece of string in the dead man's hand. You see how Stanton is holding onto it?
String? Looks more like a strong silk thread.
Probably something he tore from the murderer's clothing just before the knife went into his heart.
You don't tear single threads from a person's clothing, O'Hara?
Then what is it?
I don't know. Let's open his hand and see.
Wait a minute. We don't have to open it. I can see something between the fingers.
What is it?
A pearl.
Miss Evans. Miss Evans, if you're in your room, for the love of Mike, open up.
Who is it?
The fat man.
Hello?
Yes, open up, will you?
Well, what's wrong?
Funny. I've got to talk to you like a Dutch uncle.
Oh, wait a minute. You can't come in.
Shut up. You're in trouble, kid. I'm going to find out just how much. Where did you disappear to when I went after that guy that was following you?
I ran down the stairs. Why?
That's what I want to know. Why?
To get away from him, of course. I knew you wouldn't let him follow me.
I wish I had. Where did you go?
Home?
That's a lie. I've been calling up here all night.
Well, I stopped off for a bite to eat.
Where? At Mr. Stanton's apartment?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Come on, baby. Tell me the truth. I know half of it now. I want the other half, or I'll call in the cops.
What have I done that's wrong?
Lots of things. Most of them aren't my business. But murder is.
Murder?
You heard me. Don't stand there looking from one of my eyes to the other. Even a lousy actress can look innocent. She's beautiful enough.
Why do you keep saying I'm beautiful?
Because you are. If I weren't a man and a half, I'd take you in my arms and...
And what?
Never mind.
Go ahead. Do it.
Are you kidding?
Do it. I want you to kiss me.
My name isn't Darling.
You never told me what it was. What can I call you?
Nothing.
You've got to believe me, darling. You've got to trust me.
Why?
Because I trust you. Will you kiss me now?
Yeah.
Oh. You're awfully sweet when you want it.
Who gave you that necklace you're wearing?
What?
Who gave it to you? Why aren't you wearing it now?
I just took it off.
Where is it?
Don't you believe me?
Where is it? I want to see it.
I've got it.
Where?
Right here on my dress. Are you satisfied?
Not yet. Is this the necklace you were wearing in my office?
How many of these trinkets do you think I have?
How do I know? Must be more where this came from. Who gave it to you?
Mr. Stan.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
Because it was none of your business.
Well, that's a good answer. Is it my business now?
If you want it.
How do you want it to be, Miss Evans?
I want it to be Kathy, not Miss Evans.
Okay, Kathy. I'll take your case.
Have I got one?
You will have. The cops will be swarming all over this place by tomorrow morning.
Why?
Don't worry. Everything will be all right.
You didn't feel that way when you came in.
When I came in, I never expected to find this string of pearls. Not in one piece, anyway. You mind if I take them?
What for?
I thought you trusted me.
You still haven't answered my question.
I need these pearls to make your alibi stand up, Kathy. Don't forget, I'm working for you, but the police aren't. You're sure these pearls were bought here, Mr. Werner?
Quite sure. I matched them for Mr. Stanton myself.
No chance of a duplicate set looking exactly like these.
Very unlikely. Pearls are almost as individual as people. That's why they're so hard to match.
I see. This is your clasp, of course.
Oh, yes, it was made here.
And the string?
Oh, the string might be anybody's. There's nothing distinctive about a string.
But the pearls are distinctive.
Quite. Why did Mr. Stanton rearrange them?
You mean they're not in the right order?
Oh, the order is correct. But I only counted 18.
What?
The big one in the center is missing.
Hello.
Hello, Kathy.
Oh, yes.
This is the fat man. Do you want to swing for the murder of Mr. Stanton?
No.
Then do what I tell you.
But I didn't kill him.
Then why didn't you tell me you knew he was dead, you two-faced...
No.
Shut up. I know you were in Stanton's apartment tonight. You had to be, or you wouldn't have had that necklace back.
I don't know what you mean.
Don't play dumb with me. You picked those pearls up off the floor and strung them together again. All except one.
What?
You stupid little fool. You left the most important one in the dead man's hand.
Oh, no.
Now, this is your last chance, Kathy. Meet me in my office in 15 minutes or I go to the police.
But
Be there.
Yes?
It's me, Kathy.
Come in.
What? Mr. Parker, what are you doing here?
Waiting for you. The fat man sent for me.
Where is he?
He'll be back. He stepped out for a few minutes.
Oh?
Come on in. Don't be afraid.
Well,
Come on. The fat man wants me to show you something.
What?
Look over there on top of the desk. See it?
What is it?
A pearl. The largest one of a set.
And what's it doing here?
That's the fat man's business. He just wanted me to show it to you. Recognize it?
I don't know very much about pearls.
Then you wouldn't be interested in buying it.
Not from you. Who told you it was for sale?
The fat man. He offered it to me for...
What's the matter?
There's a microphone hidden in this bowl of fruit. The fat man must be interested in your reactions.
Where do the wires go?
Over here to the window and down the side of the building. He must be listening in another office.
He won't listen anymore.
Don't do that, you fool. Put that microphone down.
Why?
Because he'll know you smashed it. You want to get... Where's that pearl, Miss Evans?
I beg your pardon.
That pearl. You took it off the desk while I was at the window.
Oh, you're mistaken. I haven't been near the desk.
Come on. Give it to me or I'll search you for it.
Let go of me.
Not until you put that pearl back. Open your hand.
No,
Open
I
it,
won't.
I said. The fat man will kill me if you get away with this. Oh, come back here, you little devil.
Not on your life.
Just a moment, Miss Evans.
Mrs. Stanton.
Yes. I'll take that pearl, please.
Look out, she's got a gun.
Stay where you are, young lady.
No, you can't make me.
Stop. I told you to stop. You're wanted by the police for the murder of my husband. Get in the cab, Miss Evans.
Where are you taking me?
Get in.
I'll watch her, Mrs. Stanton.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. All right, driver. Hurry. Police headquarters.
Right.
Why don't you start?
Gotta wait for the light to change, lady.
You gotta wait for me, too.
The fat man.
Surprise. How do you feel, Kathy?
Why, I'm all right.
You better have somebody look at that shoulder. Franklin Hospital, driver. Make it snappy.
Just a moment. We're taking her to police headquarters.
With a fresh wound in her shoulder, she needs medical attention.
But I said...
Franklin Hospital, driver, and don't spare the horses. How is she, Doc?
Oh, she'll be all right. Bullet just grazed her shoulder.
You're very lucky, Miss Evans.
You mean you're very lucky? Don't you know it's against the law to go around shooting people?
I couldn't let her get away with that pearl, could I?
Why not? That isn't the one they found in your husband's hand. That's just a hunk of paste.
But you told us all to come to your office so you could trap the one who tried to steal it.
How did you know that?
It was obvious.
That's no excuse for shooting at her, Mrs. Stanton.
Oh, I didn't really shoot. I tried to frighten her more than anything else.
Well, in any case, I'll have to make a report to the police. Will you come with me, Mrs. Stanton?
Certainly.
You're a dead pigeon, Kathy.
What do you mean?
Even a bald-headed jury won't save you on this one.
But I didn't kill him.
I think you did. What's your vote, Parker?
I won't say until I've heard all the facts.
But you know all the facts. Didn't you follow her to Stanton's apartment late this afternoon?
Yes, I did.
Well, how long was she there?
About 20 minutes.
And she went right to the railroad station as soon as she left his apartment.
But I didn't kill him. He was dead when I got there.
Then why did you pick up the pearls and string them together again?
Because I knew I was being framed. Somebody put that necklace in Mr. Stanton's hand.
That's a good one.
It's true. I didn't have the pearls when I went to his apartment.
What?
They were stolen from me this morning.
Can you prove that?
No,
Can you prove it to me, Kathy?
I don't know. Look at me.
I'm looking.
I didn't kill Mr. Stanton. I swear I didn't.
That's not good enough, Kathy. But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll help you get out of here.
What?
I'll give you a head start on the police.
Don't be a fool.
Mind your own business, Parker.
This is my business. If she killed Stanton...
Go on and give her a break, will you?
No, I'm just as responsible as you are. You can't make me a party to this.
Then turn your back on it.
You're crazy. It's a felony to assist a criminal. I'm going to call the police.
Get away from that phone.
For heaven's sake, use your head. They'll catch her anyway.
Get away from that phone, I said.
No, don't. Don't. I can't run away. It'll only make it look worse.
Why, of course. The sooner we call the police, the better.
Hello?
Hello. Get me the police department, please.
Yes, sir.
You're not going to make that call, Parker.
What?
You're not going to make that call if I have to pick up one of these knives and jab it into your ribs.
Yeah, put that down. Put that down, you fool.
Now, you see, Parker? Even on short notice, a man reaches out for the murderer's hand, the hand with the knife.
What?
Don't you understand? When a man comes at you with a knife, you reach for his hand, not for his throat.
What are you talking about?
Stanton. He couldn't have torn those pearls off Kathy's neck. If she came at him with a knife, he'd have grabbed for her hand the way you grabbed mine.
You mean she was framed?
You guessed it. She was framed by a guy who knew every move she made. A guy who knew when he could steal that necklace and plant it in Stanton's hand at the most effective time. Who fits that description, Parker? Who knew every move Kathy made these last 3 days?
Well, why are you looking at me?
Because you're it. You wanted Stanton out of the way so you and Mrs. Stanton could get married and live on Stanton's dough. You're no private detective. I found that out 5 minutes after I met you.
Drop that knife and stay where you are. I've got a gun.
Look out, Kathy. You may use it.
I will if you don't get out of my way.
Hello?
That phone's open, Parker. You're giving the police your whole confession.
What? Oh!
Hello? Hello?
Take it easy, Captain. I'm bringing in a murderer. So you and Stanton were just good friends, Kathy?
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Must have thought an awful lot of his friends to give them pearl necklaces.
Well, I know you won't believe it, but he was like that. He once gave a surgeon a brand new car just for operating on his hand.
What did you do for the old boy?
I went out with him, let him take me to shows and things.
Well, here's where I get off.
Am I home already?
This is it. Night, Kathy.
Oh, wait a minute. Am I ever going to see you again?
I don't know.
Why not? Don't you like me?
Sure. I like all beautiful women. Trouble is, I fall in love with them.
And what's wrong with that?
Having to fall out. So long, Kathy. Remember, nobody loves a fat man.
Listen again next week at the same time when the American Broadcasting Company brings you another adventure of Dashiell Hammett's exciting new character, the Fat Man. Next week's story is called The Unfamiliar Face. And, as the Fat Man says,
Know a man's face, and you know the man behind it. Line for line, it tells the story of his life. From the women he's known to the crimes he's committed.
Tonight's adventure of the Fat Man, played by J. Scott Smart, was directed by Robert Sloan. Bernard Green composed and conducted the original music.
Hold on to your nerves. Next comes a guy who keeps busy chasing fugitives and frails. It's William Gargan as Private Detective Ross Dolan, shooting his way through the mystery thriller I Deal in Crime. This is the American Broadcasting Company.
Welcome back. I love this show, and I love the character of the Fat Man. This is one of the, I think, more complex and really interesting characters that the golden age of radio produced. And we've got a character here who is extremely intelligent, very tough, with a lot of compassion, but some real insecurity as well. Put it all together and you've got the Fat Man. And it didn't hurt that this was actually, I think, a pretty clever mystery with a lot of twists and turns along the way. And this series will produce more as we enjoy what remains over the next 10 weeks. Next week, we'll talk a little bit more about J. Scott Smart and his career. Well, we turn now to listener comments and feedback. Greg says, "Thanks, Adam. I appreciate your work. I'm disabled and listen to the radio a lot and really enjoy the shows and your commentary." And we also received a simple note from Mitch of "Great show. Keep up the great work." Well, thanks so much, Mitch. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And that will actually do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Let George Do It, and then join us next week for another exciting episode of The Fat Man. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners, and I want to thank listeners sending in contributions here in the tail end of our listener support campaign. So thank you to William, and also to Glenn. And I appreciate your support. And even though the listener support campaign is over, with all donations of $7 or more, we send access to our premium site. Well, now it's time for today's episode of Let George Do It. This one is called School of Sharks.
Personal notice. Dangers by stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you've got a job for me, George Valentine. Write full details.
Standard Oil Company of California invites you to Let George Do It. In just a moment, we'll begin tonight's adventure of George Valentine. Sometimes you drive in the country, sometimes in town. Shift to the gas with All 8 for top all-around performance wherever you drive. Yes, Chevron Supreme Gasoline gives you all 8 high-performance qualities in correct balance. Mileage, acceleration, power, anti-knock,
vapor lock prevention, starting, warm-up, and area blending. So for top, all-around performance, fill up with Chevron Supreme gasoline at standard stations and independent Chevron gas stations where they say and mean, we take better care of your car. And now, tonight's story, A School of Sharks, another adventure of George Valentine.
Dinner for you in a... Dad? Huh. It's funny. Well, at least he was here. If he went out to play pinochle again tonight, I'll... Oh. Dearest Mary, a man can be foolish and a man can be weak. You know I've been both in my time. But a man can only be a coward up to a certain point. Mary, darling, I'm trapped. Trapped by many things. Maybe mostly by myself. Maybe you can never find it in your heart to forgive me. But remember, I love you. Don't go into the bedroom, darling. But call the police. Dad? Dad? Dad! Oh, no! Yes, the funeral was yesterday, Mr. Valentine. And the boys who worked with Dad on the newspaper sent him a nice read. The case is very much closed.
Yeah. Well, after I got your letter, Miss Haggerty, I checked with the police. There's no question about your father's death being a suicide.
No. No question at all.
Well, there doesn't seem to be very much Mr. Valentine can do, does there, dear?
Loan sharks. Did you ever hear of loan sharks, Mr. Valentine?
Yeah, I heard your father was in a little financial trouble.
But why did he have to borrow so much money? Money wasn't too much of a problem with us.
No?
Father's worked on the Clarion for years, in the composing room. He made a nice salary. And when I got out of high school, I went to work there, too. I'm now secretary to the managing editor.
Mr. Wells?
You know him?
Well, just slightly.
But don't you see? We had friends. We had people he could turn to.
Well, he might have owed a sum he felt he couldn't raise.
Well, he liked to gamble. That was his one weakness. But he never gambled for large amounts, and he played cards mostly with his friends.
Gambled, huh? Well, that could be one darn good reason why he had to borrow money. And from people who are easy about lending it and tough about getting it back. Well, that might have started the ball rolling downhill for him.
I don't know any specific facts, Mr. Valentine, but I have an idea Dad wasn't the only one in the paper who was mixed up with loan sharks.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, there are hundreds of people working for the Clarion. I heard Oscar Strike, he's the foreman of the composing room, talk to Mr. Wells about that. But, of course, there wasn't very much they knew. People just don't talk about things like that. So there wasn't very much they could do.
Which is pretty much my position, too, Mary. It's a job for the police to try to get evidence on these tough boys, break up that racket.
But that's what I'm driving at. In a way, my father was killed by them.
Mary, please.
I know Dad pulled the trigger. But who made him do it? Maybe there's no murder in the strict legal sense. There is a murderer who must be punished. Mr. Valentine, I know the police will try and break up the loan shark racket. But I want you to help. I want you to find my father's murderer.
I'll do what I can, Mary.
Got a little cubbyhole over there where we can talk better.
That'll be fine, Mr. Strike.
They sure turn out a lot of papers.
When we print the big Sunday edition, that's when this place really hums.
I can imagine. About the boys here, Mr. Strike.
Oh, they're human. Some of them get into a mess, and then they grab at anything. Borrow money from anybody to get out of it.
Well, they get good pay. Any reason this loan shark business should be more of a problem here than any place else?
Maybe.
Why?
I keep my eyes open. I sort of have an idea somebody makes things easier for the boys to get into trouble.
In what way?
Easier to get involved in gambling in the back room of some saloon around here. You lose a good chunk of dough, mister, and you can't take it out of your paycheck. Your wife expects that to keep the family going. So you grab at a chance to borrow some.
No matter what interest you have to pay.
No matter. You figure maybe you can win next time, and then maybe you don't. And in any case, there's a gorilla boy to make sure you don't fall behind in your payments.
Well, you think something like that happened to Mr. Haggerty?
Joe was a friend of mine, a good man to work with. You find out who got him on the road to where he killed himself, and you'll have lots of friends down here.
You know who some of the boys are who got themselves in trouble with these loans?
Oh, I could make a few guesses, but that wouldn't do anybody any good. They'd be too scared to talk. Everybody's always too scared to talk. In fact, I just as soon you forgot that I shut my mouth off, Mr. Valentine.
Jake Pagano and Stan Ringler. They're the sharks the boys in the racket squad suspect.
Then why aren't they behind bars, Lieutenant?
Because I said suspect, Valentine.
But there should be some proof by now.
Not with those two. Oh, plenty of small fish have been caught. But Pagano and Ringler can't be tied in with them. Too many people
are afraid to talk, I know.
You wouldn't be so cynical, my friend, if you saw the artistic job of mayhem those thugs are capable of.
So we just let things go on their merry way. That's great.
The police are checking every lead they get.
Well, that'll be a lot of comfort to Mary Haggerty, I'm sure.
And they will welcome any inspired, sensational ideas anybody will come up with.
And furthermore, they could use some ideas.
Okay. Round's over.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant Johnson.
Yeah. Valentine, guys like Pagano and Ringler make any honest cop see red. So we have them tailed, and we look in their bank accounts. And when we catch one of their strong-arm boys, we try to persuade them to put the finger on their bosses. No dice on any count.
Yeah, I know. Johnson, do you personally have any ideas on the subject?
I had one, but I doubt if it'd work.
What kind of an idea?
Well, we have enough on both of them to be able to pick them up and keep them in jail for a while, away from each other. Then we could tell either one of them that the other finally cracked up and confessed.
Yeah, so to protect himself, our boy would sing. Sometimes that does work.
Not with those two. They'd spot the whole deal for a phony, and we'd get exactly no place.
Now, wait a minute. Unless the stunt were pulled not by the police, but by somebody they'd never suspect.
What?
What are you talking about, George?
I've got an idea about what to do with your idea, Johnson. Come on. Mr. Wells, the Clarion's got to help.
But, Mr. Valentine, you don't realize what you're asking us to do.
Dad always called it his paper. With pride in his voice. He'd do anything for it. The Clarion owes him this.
Do you think such a stunt would even work, Lieutenant Johnson?
It might. It's cockeyed enough.
It isn't cockeyed at all. It makes perfect sense.
Now, look, just a couple of special issues of the Clarion with a front-page story about something that never happened.
Well...
Fine, good. I knew you'd do it. Now, I don't know how long it's been since you personally wrote a story, Mr. Wells, but you're going to write one now. Get your boss a typewriter and plenty of paper, Mary.
Yes, sir.
You have a lot of work to do, Johnson, and very little time.
You bet your sweet
And
life.
you, Brooksy,
Yeah.
I need the shabbiest-looking suit you can find. Yep, everybody get to work, except me. I'll be very busy keeping my fingers crossed.
Well, here it is, complete with headlines.
Good.
Ringler confesses part in loan shark racket. Implicates Pagano as real boss.
Oh, wait till Pagano sees it. He won't have a reason in a million to suspect that this isn't anything but absolute truth. He'll think it's splashed all over every paper in town.
And do some fancy singing on his own against Ringler, I know. Well, I'm still worried about the Clarion's part in all this.
Is Oscar Strike down in the composing room waiting for this?
Yes, we'll run it in a couple of hours as part of the afternoon edition. Strike knows about a hot story coming through, and he's to handle it himself. And we've run off a couple of copies. I'll personally give him the order to stop the presses and destroy the type.
I've located a couple of pictures of Pagano and Ringler.
I'll take them. I just hope everything works out, Valentine.
He's a nice guy, Wells.
Dad always used to say he was tough but a square shooter. Mr. Valentine, you would have liked Dad. He wasn't really weak or cowardly.
Oh, there. You want to bet Johnson has rounded up Pagano and Ringler already?
Mr. Wells' office.
Miss Haggerty.
Will you speak a little louder?
Straighten your ears a little, sister. What I got to say is important to you.
Who are you?
Stop playing around with the cops and guys like Valentine. They'll be picking you up in an alley. If you're lucky, you'll just have your legs and arms busted.
Are you sure you have the right party?
What's the matter, Mary?
Don't stall for time, sister. That's all the message I got. Better remember every word of it.
Hello? Hello, wait. He hung up.
Who was it?
Nobody.
Oh, somebody from our friends, the Easy Lenders?
No.
Now, look, kid, this is no time to play coy. They told you what they'd do if you kept hollering copper, didn't they? And we know they're not kidding. Okay, I vote we forget all the fancy plays.
What?
Why, those characters will trip up some other time, and the police will nail them then, but you'll be out of it.
Mr. Valentine, please. Please listen to me. I want to go right ahead with what you've planned. I'm afraid, but I want you to go on.
But Mary, listen, there's
I'll
danger.
never stop looking for Dad's murder. This way I'll have someone to help me. The other way I'll be all alone. Am I all alone, Mr. Valentine?
Let's get going, Mary. We're going to be very busy.
We'll return to tonight's adventure of George Valentine in just a moment. You know the old saying, a friend in need is a friend indeed. Well, one of the best friends you can have is a set of tough, rugged Atlas tires on your car. For Atlas tires are really dependable. They're made to last and last, to give you safety and security on the highways. In winter weather especially, you need the kind of protection you get from Atlas tires. You'll find wide, flat treads on Atlas tires. Treads that put more rubber on the road, give you better traction. They're thick treads with good, deep grooves and hundreds of tough anti-skid edges for greater safety. And here's another important point. When you buy Atlas tires, you get a written warranty. 12 months protection against tire damage from any road hazard. A warranty that is honored by more than 38,000 Atlas dealers from coast to coast in the United States and in Canada, too. Convenient monthly budget terms are available. Whenever and wherever you're driving, remember that you get top performance from Atlas tires. No wonder folks say you're money ahead and miles ahead when you buy Atlas. Stop in tomorrow and get the facts about safe, sure Atlas tires at any independent Chevron gas station or standard station where they say and mean we take better care of your car. If your name is George Valentine, you get a bright idea how to trap the two leading suspects in a vicious loan racket. You carefully make all the preparations, but then you find yourself squarely on the spot. Mary Haggerty has just been warned that if she doesn't drop you like a hot potato, she will be found dead. But she insists that you go right ahead as planned.
You sure you have the girl under protection, Johnson?
Yeah, Valentine, I told you I have. She doesn't know it, but Davis and Malloy are down at the Clarion, and they won't even let her out of their sight.
Good.
You sure are a thing of beauty, my friend.
Oh, thank you.
What the well-dressed man won't be found dead in.
Well, if I'm going to be thrown into Pagano's cell as a common drunk, I should look as though I've slept in at least a couple of gutters. Everything work out okay so far?
Like a charm. We picked up Pagano and Ringler separately, booked them separately, and put them in different cells.
Oh, what a horrible fate for the Bobbsey twins.
We also made sure that Pagano took a good look at Ringler being marched out of his cell later.
With a couple of photographers snapping his picture?
With all the trimmings. Pagano's eyes nearly bugged out. He tried to find out from the guard what was going on, but of course nobody told our friend anything.
Well, I shall now try to satisfy Mr. Pagano's curiosity.
It's quite a story Wells wrote about Ringler's confession.
Yeah.
Too bad it never happened.
First copy off the press. And it'll be the smallest circulation any newspaper in the world ever had.
Here you are.
Okay. I'll just tuck it carelessly in my pocket like this. And any time you get one of our politest guards, he can show me to Mr. Pagano's cell.
Good luck, Valentine. I hope it works.
Okay, thanks, Johnson. With any luck, he'll be bellowing for you like an outraged bull.
Guard! Come in here, guard!
And if he bellows like that, it won't be bad either.
And don't make too much noise in there. Happy, boy?
Oh, thanks for the hospitality, officer. Every officer in our penal institute, jail is a perfect gentleman. And every guest in our penal jail is a perfect gentleman. In fact, the whole world is a perfect gentleman. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful... Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I wasn't alone, sir. I do hope I have not disturbed you.
Just shut up, Mac, and everybody will be happy.
Happy? You're happy too, huh? Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. It's like I always tell an old woman, if I ever take a teeny-weeny drop, it's to celebrate my being the happiest man in the world. I'm happy when you're happy.
I said pass out quietly, Mac, or I'll do the passing for you.
Yeah, but I was just... Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll just fix the cot so I don't dirty it with my shoes, and I'll be as quiet as old mouse.
Wait a minute. Give me that.
No, that's my paper. Hey.
Shut up. Let me see something here. Well, what do you know?
Hey, now, look, monsieur, I just bought that paper, and I haven't read it. I really think...
So that's what happened.
Sure, that's exactly what happened.
Nobody's talking to you, lunkhead. I'm talking about a friend of mine. A friend of mine who got out of here because he's smart. A very smart boy.
Smarter than me? Smarter than you?
No, pal, not smarter than me. Oh, guard! Guard! Come here with you. I want to talk to you.
Oh, that's it, baby. Tell him you want out so you can talk to the district attorney, too.
All right. What's on your mind, Pagano?
Nothing. Just throw this screwball out of my cell, will you? I want to take a nap.
Oh, that worked out fine. Just fine, Valentine.
Yeah, great.
Not a peep out of Pagano. He apparently doesn't want to talk to anybody. Doesn't want to deny what Ringler is supposed to have said.
Johnson, something's phony about all this.
Why? He couldn't suspect the newspaper story. And I know as sure as I'm alive that he and Ringler are mixed up in that smelly racket.
Hey, Johnson, wait.
Huh?
Did Pagano speak to anyone at all before I was thrown in there? Did he have any visitors?
No, he didn't. He had a phone call from his lawyer.
His lawyer? How do you know?
Well, that's what the man said.
Oh, of course, sure, of course, that's it.
That's what?
That must be the answer. Come on, he was tipped off.
Mr. Wells!
Hey, Mary, where are you? Mr. Wells.
All right.
We called the doctor, Mr. Valentine. He should be here any minute.
George, they found Mr. Wells down on the back stairway. He was slugged from behind.
Who found him and when?
I did. About 10 minutes ago.
Anybody know how long he was laying there?
I was going to the composing room.
To the composing room?
Yes.
To make sure that the type for the phony front page was destroyed?
That's right. Mr. Valentine, that means the newspaper's on the street by now.
Oh, no.
I'm afraid it's so, yes. I only hope we're not too late. Mr. Strike! Mr. Strike!
There he is, George, out on the loading platform.
I see a couple of trucks pulling away now.
Mr. Strike, wait! Stop those trucks! The paper. Let me see the paper that's going out.
Oh, sure. Oh, here's a broken bundle. What?
Ringler confesses.
All these papers, all the same.
Sure, they're all the same. What's this, some sort of joke?
How many trucks left already?
Oh, half a dozen.
Headed for where?
All over town.
Well, don't let another paper get out of here no matter what you have to do.
Yeah,
It's an order from the police.
The police? Say, look, what is this? Mr. Wells told me he'd be downstairs about something, but he never showed up.
Never mind. George, those other trucks, the ones that already left, how can we stop them?
We've got to stop them before a single copy of the paper gets into a customer's hands.
I'll get the police cars after them.
Tell them to stop at nothing to get every copy off the streets.
right, Sergeant. Okay, boys. Turn the truck around and get back. But don't be like me. You drive 25 miles an hour and no more.
Don't cut open that bundle of clarions.
What's the matter with you, old lady? You crazy?
Yes, crazy as a loon, but you'll sell those papers over my dead body.
Pretty good hunting, eh, Oscar?
You can say that again, young fella.
Does that account for all the trucks that went out to this side of town?
Yeah, all of them. What? Aren't we going back to the Clarion?
No, I remembered something. I'm not a newspaper man, but doesn't the truck that delivers the papers to the railroad station leave as soon as it's ready?
Sure, that's right.
Well, the station's down this way. We'd better keep going as fast as we can. Oh, brother, that's great. Now we're in the midst of traffic.
We'll never catch that truck, never.
Ride a couple of 100 feet and stop. Oh, this is fine.
It's Sandy Krause on that truck, a good man.
Can you still see it?
Yeah, way up ahead there, but it might as well be miles away. When Sandy gets the truck to the station, they'll have papers selling over the counters in a matter of seconds.
Oh, sure. And the Clarion will really be in a mess.
Yeah, one of Pagano and Ringler's boys must have knocked Mr. Wells out to keep him from stopping the phony paper, huh?
Sure. It'd be worth a lot to the loan sharks to get the Clarion way behind the 8-ball. And, brother, they're so near to it with that truck just out of our reach.
Yeah.
Of course, there's one chance I could still take.
What's that?
Up there, where the other street joins this one. I could turn off, go back half a mile, then pick up Dempster Street to the station.
Oh, you'd never make it in time.
I think I could, just in time, just by a matter of minutes.
No.
Oh, wouldn't it really be something if the racket boys missed out, so near and yet so far? Hold on, Oscar. Here's where we turn off.
No. I said no.
What? Oh, nice heavy wrench. Is that the one you slugged Mr. Wells with, Oscar? I'll bet the police could prove that it is.
Keep driving, Valentine, and straight ahead.
Sorry, I can't. I had an idea you were in on this, Oscar, when you conveniently forgot about this truck still being out. But I had to have some proof.
Those papers are going to be sold. You're not going to spoil it.
What are you going to do, Oscar?
If you drive anywhere near that truck, I'll kill you. Be smart and don't stop.
All right. Don't wave that thing. Thanks for it, Oscar. Give me that wrench. What's the matter? Dashboard hurt your face? Sorry I'm such a bad driver, Oscar, but I got to catch that truck. Okay, Oscar. Tell the nice lieutenant you're ready to dictate a confession.
That's right. I'll tell everything. But you've got to get the court to give me a break. I'll turn state's evidence.
Now, that's real decent of you.
And you'll protect me from Pagano and Ringler, won't you?
Yeah. They'll be kind of busy protecting themselves. Come on, get started.
Yeah, sure. I got involved the same way most of them.
They put the last batch of those Clarions into the furnace a few minutes ago.
Beautiful sight, beautiful.
Not a single copy got out on the street. And Mr. Wells is downstairs personally destroying the type.
George, I understand about Oscar Strike being a sort of inside man here for Pagano or Ringler or whichever one.
Oh, wait a minute, Angel. He had to be. He was on the hook just like Mary's father. Only he wasn't quite so honest.
Well, was he the one who tipped off Pagano so he wouldn't do any talking?
Sure, why not? With the papers out on the street, Ringler would have a perfect case of libel against the Clarion. He didn't really confess, of course, so he'd claim his reputation was damaged beyond repair.
Yeah, and the crazy part of it is he could have collected. Almost said any amount he wanted.
That's right. I guess poor Strike figured in return he'd be let off the hook. His own debts would be canceled.
But what did he say? What did he tell the police?
Pagano? Oh, the loan racket was his.
But Ringler?
Angel, there's a funny thing about singing. When one person starts, everybody joins the chorus. Now, Pagano is so sore, he's telling everything he knows about Ringler's racket.
But if you hadn't done what you did, the racket would still be going right on, destroying more and more lives, like my father's.
But it is over, dear, all of it.
No, it's not. Come on, I got a surprise for Mary.
What?
Something to show you where you're wrong.
Many car manufacturers now recommend a heavy-duty motor oil to give modern engines maximum protection under all driving conditions. New RPM motor oil exceeds the requirements of all manufacturers for this type of oil. Whichever weight you use, 10, 20, 30, or 40, remember that new RPM doubles engine life, the time between major overhauls due to lubrication. Be sure you get new RPM motor oil for your car at independent Chevron gas stations or standard stations where they say and mean, we take better care of your car.
There go the trucks again, to every part of the city.
Nobody has to stop them now.
Printing shop foreman exposes loan shark racket. Here it is. And isn't it beautiful?
Yeah. There's something else on the front page. A little box at the bottom there.
The editorial?
Uh-huh.
As long as there are vicious, greedy men, there will be rackets of all sorts. And these rackets will thrive and grow fat as long as they have for their ally the fear of its victims. Mary Haggerty is a soft-spoken young girl, as anxious to stay away from violence as you and I. But she knew that sometimes fear can be a crime as bad as any racket. And Mary Haggerty conquered fear. The news columns carry the story of what she accomplished. Here is an example to men of goodwill. A sure weapon against men of evil. Signed G.V.
There isn't anyone on our editorial staff with those initials.
No, but there was. For one day only. And he meant every word of what he wrote.
Tonight's adventure of George Valentine has been brought to you by Standard Oil Company of California on behalf of independent Chevron gas stations and standard stations throughout the West. Robert Bailey is starred as George with Virginia Gregg as Brooksy. Let George Do It was written by David Victor and Jackson Gillis and directed by Kenneth Webb. Ken Christie was heard as Lieutenant Johnson, Virginia Eiler as Mary, Griff Barnett as Strike, Joe Vitale as Pagano, Stephen Chase as Wells, and James Nusser as the guard. The music is composed and presented by Eddie Dunstetter. Your announcer, John Heaston. Listen again next week, same time, same station, to Let George Do It. Let George Do It is heard overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is the Mutual Don Lee Broadcasting System.
Welcome back. This type of episode from the Golden Age is somewhat unique, where radio became this weapon in the war on crime and on the rackets. We don't hear a whole lot about these sort of crimes in the media, or even really that much on the news. I do kind of wonder whether these sort of things happen in a great number, or if all the public awareness forced a change in criminal strategies. A situation where you just can't pull the same old cons because everybody's getting wise to it. Or do the same things just go on, but get ignored by media and politicians, as focus is on the, particularly in the media, tends to be on the more salacious sort of crimes. That's something I'd love to see a study on. The changing crimes. All right, listener comments and feedback now. We begin. Frank in Missouri sends a note. I love the show and want others to discover it. I have 13 weekly newspapers in Missouri, along with free distribution shoppers for circulation of about 50,000. As a thank you and a possible way to bring in a few more limits, I'd like to run a free classified for the show and based on Let George Do It. Personal notice, danger's my stock and trade. If the job's too tough for you to handle, you've got a job for me. George Valentine, write full details. Well, we went ahead and we definitely went along with it. And Frank's enjoying the idea, and I hope we get a few listeners. Appreciate the idea and the effort to help more folks be able to enjoy the show. We also had William, who donated. He went ahead and he made a list, a podcast roundup of the podcast he listened to over at his website, bureau42.com. So we appreciate him sharing that and letting people know. And, if you have friends that you think might like the show, let them know about it. We definitely appreciate it and welcome it. All right, well, that will do it for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Sherlock Holmes, and join us next week for another episode of Let George Do It. This episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for your support. And I want to thank a couple of people who have sent along donations, part of our listeners' support campaign, Susan and Lori. Well, thanks so much for your support. And even though our listener support campaign is over, we still, for all donations of $7 or more, we will give access to our premium site. All right, well, now it's time for today's episode of Sherlock Holmes, The Adventure of London Tower. Now, don't go away after the show. I found a pretty fun article. Ties into Sherlock Holmes, and we'll discuss it a little bit, but here now is The Adventure of London Tower.
From New York City, the makers of Clippercraft clothes for men and more than 1,200 leading retail stores from coast to coast present Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's immortal character, the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes, starring John Stanley. This week's story, The Adventure of London Tower.
Holmes, the official police have been swarming through the Tower of London here for 2 days, and they've found nothing.
That is because they've met their match, Watson. The thief who engineered this extraordinary crime is a man worthy of my own metal.
Yes, but where is he? How did he escape from the tower?
He didn't, Watson.
Oh, but wait, that's absurd, Holmes. He can't still be here.
Can't he, Watson? Listen to that.
Holmes, the killer. He is here, and he's struck again.
Yes, quick. Down these stairs. After him.
We're at the door of Dr. John Watson's study, and we're about to hear another of his adventures with the fabulous Sherlock Holmes.
Well, good evening, Mr. Harris.
Good evening, Dr. Watson. Hard at work on your memoirs as usual, I see. Well, which one is it this time?
Well, tonight, Mr. Harris, I'm able to reveal for the first time an extraordinary adventure, the details of which for many years were shrouded in official secrecy. It is only recently, and by dint of constant appeal to Scotland Yard and Downing Street itself, that I was given permission finally to reveal the facts of this case.
Well, now you've stirred my curiosity, Dr. Watson. What is this story called?
I call it The Adventure of London Tower, and I promise you an interesting evening. But now, Mr. Harris, I know you have an interesting story to give us on Clippercraft clothes.
Interesting indeed, Dr. Watson. And, Madam, I'm about to tell our listeners about sensational values in men's clothing.
Well, Mr. Harris, my husband says that a really good suit costs a small fortune.
Well, obviously, your husband hasn't heard about those luxurious suits that bear the famous Clippercraft label and cost only $40 and $45.
Not really.
Mm-hmm. And what's more, even the superb worsted suits with the famous Clippercraft label cost only $45.
Well, I don't mean to be inquisitive, but...
Oh, you want to know how Clippercraft does it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, more than 1,200 fine independent stores from coast to coast concentrate their immense purchasing power for fabulous savings in production and distribution. Naturally, those savings are passed down to you.
Yes, but I have to be convinced.
Well, you can convince yourself just by comparing Clippercraft,
with clothes selling for many dollars more. And now, Dr. Watson, what about this adventure of London Tower?
Well, Mr. Harris, it was one of those cases which, if Holmes had not lived to solve it, might have dealt a shattering blow to the empire itself. Holmes and I first became aware of an extraordinary crisis when we were roused from our beds early one morning by a personage no less than the Prime Minister himself, Lord Bellinger. But the chain of events had already started the afternoon before, when a beefeater guide named Wilkes led a party of sightseers through the Wakefield Tower, which, as you know, is one of the many towers which go to make up that great conglomeration of buildings called the Tower of London.
And there you've seen them, ladies and gentlemen. The fabulous crown jewels worth £5 million. The imperial state crown, the queen's consort crown, the anointing spoon, the king's scepter with the star of Africa, largest cut diamond in the world, the uncut ruby in the crown, given to the Black Prince by Pedro the Cruel and worn by Henry at Agincourt. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on to the White Tower. Now, on our way, we'll pass the outer ward, the yeoman jailer's house, and... one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I seem to have a straggler back there in the treasure room. Beg pardon, sir.
What is it, guide?
Why, what are you doing back here? Why haven't you come along with the others?
Oh, just admiring the crown jewels here under this iron-barred case.
That's as may be, sir. But we can't allow any of the sightseers to lag behind. Not here, anyhow. Rules, you know.
Yes, of course. I quite understand, guide. It's just that I cannot take my eyes from these jewels. Look at them shine. The symbols of empire. The pride of kings and the joy of queens. They're beautiful. Beautiful.
Come in. Yeoman Albert Hodgkins of the Tower Guard reporting, Major.
Oh, yes, Hodgkins. At ease.
Yes.
Hodgkins, as Major of London Tower and Chief Constable, I seem to be having trouble with my yeoman warders lately. Let me see. You stand watch over the crown jewels with Yeoman Wilson, do you not?
Yes.
Quite. But it seems that Wilson is ill and confined to his quarters. I shall therefore assign another man to stand guard with you.
And who will that be, Major Markham?
A new man to the Yeoman of the Guard, Hodgkins. His name is Digby, and he comes to us with an excellent military record. He'll report directly to you at the treasure room tonight.
Very good, sir.
And, Hodgkins, one more thing.
Yes, Major?
This man Digby was shot up a bit in the Afghan war. They did some rather crude surgery to his face. I'm counting on you to exhibit no particular reaction. You understand?
Of course, Major.
Very good. That'll be all, Hodgkins.
So these are the crown jewels, eh, Hodgkins?
That's them, all right, Digby.
Blimey. I was in His Majesty's service a long time, but I never stood a watch like this. Now, what's this here crown?
That's Sir Edward's crown, made for the coronation of Charles II.
And this big diamond?
Oh, that's the Koh-i-Noor diamond. Used to belong to the Rajah of Lahore, that did. They're going to bring it to Windsor Castle.
Oh, are they, Hodgkins?
I said they were, didn't I?
That's where you're wrong.
What do you mean?
This Hodgkins. No! No!
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, you will forgive me if I've interrupted your slumber in the dead of night like this, but the magnitude of this crime, the immediate need of investigation...
Quite, Lord Bellinger. Dr. Watson and I are at your service.
So, Your Lordship, Holmes and I never expected a personal visit of the Prime Minister of England to our humble quarters here at Baker Street.
Yes, Dr. Watson. In the ordinary course of events, I should have summoned you to Downing Street, but there is no time to waste. There is a terrible urgency to this whole fantastic affair.
Oh, I should say so. Crown jewels stolen from the Tower of London, Tower Guard murdered. By Jove, what cheek. No one's ever tried that before.
On the contrary, Watson, they have. In the reign of Charles II, an Irishman named Thomas Blood purloined the jewels and almost succeeded in getting them out of London before he was apprehended. But enough of that. Lord Bellinger, a question or two, if you please.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
Is the government yet aware of this loss?
Only the highest circles. The royal family has been notified, and the inner cabinet. We are striving to keep the affair a secret as long as possible. You must understand why.
Right.
Well, the crown jewels are priceless.
They are indeed, Dr. Watson, and more than in just a material sense. Indeed, they are the symbols of empire. They hold our far-flung dominions and colonies together. I need not tell you the shattering impact of this news, both at home and abroad. Mr. Holmes.
Yes, Lord Bellinger.
I beg of you, indeed I plead with you to lend your great talents to this affair. If your genius has ever burned brightly, let it burn now. The crown jewels must be recovered at any cost.
You may rest assured, sir, that we shall leave no stone unturned. Now then, as I understand it, the official police have been notified.
Yes, Scotland Yard was notified immediately and threw a cordon around the whole tower. The tower wardens have locked all gates and entries. No one can enter and no one can leave. All gates have been sealed.
Good.
I might add that all personnel has been sworn to secrecy so as not to foment public unrest.
I see. Watson?
Yes, Holmes?
You'd better get dressed and be off to the Tower of London at once. So you're Overbury, the chief warder.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. Major Markham, the chief constable, asked me to conduct Dr. Watson and yourself to the treasure room the moment you arrived.
Nothing's been disturbed, Overbury?
No, Dr. Watson, nothing. We left the corpse of poor Hodgkins just as it was. Here we are.
Holmes, this poor chap was stabbed.
Yes, Watson.
The blade was driven home by a powerful blow. Pierced the heart wall.
Yes, true, Watson, true. But at the moment, I'm more interested in this smashed display case. Note the way one of the bars was filed through and bent back. Interesting.
What's interesting, sir?
The thief, if I recall the articles exhibited here, took an amazingly large number of these valuables. They must have been difficult to hide and bulky to carry. Overbury.
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
What time this morning did you discover the theft?
Why, about 4 o'clock, sir.
What did you do after that?
I immediately ordered the alarm and notified Major Markham. He was just finishing his bath.
Bath? Well, Watson, there's nothing more to be seen here. Now then, Overbury.
Yes, sir.
Be good enough to take us to the chief constable, Major Markham.
Yes, sir. Come with me, gentlemen. The major is occupying temporary quarters just over the water gate.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, we're at our wits' end here at the tower. It's incredible, gentlemen, incredible that a thief could loot the crown jewels and escape from the tower as pretty as you please.
What makes you think he escaped, Major Markham?
Oh, come now, Holmes. You don't think the beggar's still hiding somewhere in the tower area with half of Scotland Yard and all the garrison swarming about the premises?
My dear Watson, I prefer to remain skeptical until I have all the facts at hand. The tower embraces a large area.
True, Mr. Holmes, true. But I assure you, we've searched every nook and corner of the tower area. We've gone through the White Tower, the Bloody Tower, the Beauchamp, and Wakefield Tower where the treasure room itself is located. And not a sign of the thief.
Seems to me we must resign ourselves to the fact that the burglar may be miles away by now, Holmes.
Yes, perhaps, Watson, perhaps. Major Markham, a question.
Yes, Mr. Holmes.
It's obvious that this new yeoman guard you employed, this man Digby, is responsible for this fantastic crime.
Undoubtedly.
I presume you examined his credentials before you took him on.
Certainly. They seem quite in order. A good military record and honorable discharge.
Forged, no doubt?
No doubt. However, we do have a clue.
Indeed?
What clue?
The man's face. It was bloated, blotched, kind of dead chalk white and puffy in appearance. Indeed, I found it very unpleasant to look at.
Well, Joe Holmes, if we ever come across the beggar, he should be easy to identify.
Be sure, Watson, if we ever come across him. This vandal is a man of some parts, my dear fellow. He executes the most fabulous crime of the century, vanishes into thin air, disappears through stone masonry, so to speak, and all without a trace. Major Markham.
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
I should like to question the tower guides at once. Now then, Wilkes, your duty is to take sightseers through the treasure room in Wakefield Tower.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. And I might say that I noticed one mighty suspicious bloke among the crowds yesterday afternoon.
Indeed?
What do you mean, Wilkes?
Well, Dr. Watson, this here gentleman was loitering around the Crown Jewels. I had to go back and get him to move on. The fella couldn't tear himself away. But there was something about him, a look about him.
What kind of look?
Well, he had a high, bald forehead and a big, thin nose and a thin face, like a knife almost, and a big, drooping moustache.
Wilkes, one moment. This man's eyes, what color were they?
Oh, Holmes, what the devil...
Please, Watson. Try to think, Wilkes. What color were this man's eyes?
Why, they were blue, Mr. Holmes, and the eyelids drooped a little.
Watson, it's he. I'm sure of it.
Dash it all, Holmes. Who?
I prefer not to mention his name until I'm sure beyond all reasonable doubt. But he's certainly capable of a fantastic plot like this, and the high stakes are much to his liking. Watson, if this man is indeed our quarry, this genius of crime, it'll take a near miracle to recover those crown jewels and restore them to their rightful place.
Well, Dr. Watson, so far it's been some adventure.
Yes, Mr. Harris. I consider it unique among my memoirs.
Yes, unique. Say, you've given me just the word I need when it comes to Clippercraft clothes, Dr. Watson. Now, getting back to your husband, madam.
Yes, I've got to be getting back to him, but, well, how do we distinguish a genuine Clippercraft?
Well, how do you determine that silver is sterling? By the mark of sterling, of course. No suit or coat is a genuine Clippercraft unless it bears the renowned Clippercraft label. That Clippercraft label is your proof of quality and value.
But what about Clippercraft coats, Mr. Harris?
Truly expensive-looking Clippercraft top coats and overcoats are the sensation of the nation at only $40 to $47.50. And speaking of sensations, just wait till your husband sees Clippercraft's handsome new zipper-lining top coats.
Where can we shop for these wonderful Clippercraft clothes?
In your very own community at the friendly independent store that sells Clippercraft clothes.
Well, if they look as good as you make them sound.
They really do. That's why men who know insist on Clippercraft clothes bearing the Clippercraft label. So be sure to visit the Clippercraft store in your city.
These leading stores in the metropolitan area are proud to add their names to Clippercraft in your suits, top coats, and overcoats. In Manhattan, John Wanamaker Men's Stores, Broadway at 8th and 67 Liberty Street. Saks 34th, Broadway at 34th. In Brooklyn, Abraham and Strauss. In Newark, New Jersey, Boulevard Men's Shop, Kresge Newark. And in Jamaica, the B&B Clothes Shop, 16408 Jamaica Avenue.
And now, Dr. Watson, you were relating to us the adventure of London Tower.
Yes, Mr. Harris, I was. As Holmes continued to question the beefeater guide sharply, I saw that Holmes's face was like a mask. His gray eyes narrowed, and I knew he was straining every one of his brilliant faculties to trap and finally bring to heel the mysterious and formidable criminal of London Tower. Finally, as Holmes and I were ascending the steps between the Bloody Tower and the guardhouse, Holmes said,
Watson, it's my considered opinion, after a careful examination of the facts, that the crown jewels are still somewhere here in the tower.
What?
Precisely. And I'm positive that the thief is still in the tower as well.
Well, Holmes, for once I must disagree with you. Why, the official police have been swarming through the whole tower area for days.
True. But even if they find the thief, they'll never recognize him.
Oh, dash it, Holmes, what are you driving at? The chief constable of the tower, Major Markham, clearly identified the bogus guard and killer Digby as having a bloated, puffy, white face.
Quite. But it's the thin-faced man with the cold blue eyes, the tourist with the drooping moustache, who's the key to this extraordinary affair.
Oh, perhaps, Holmes. At this point, my dear Holmes, I'm thoroughly confused. As to the jewels themselves, you said they're still in the tower.
And with good reason, Watson. You observed that several of the heavier pieces, crowns, scepters, maces, and so forth, were missing from the glass display case.
Yes, but what of it?
The thief would need a large bag, indeed a sack, to carry those bulky items. It's doubtful whether he could have slipped by the outer garrison guard without being examined.
Holmes, what was that?
Just a minute, Watson. Listen.
Holmes, a scream. It came from the armory room. Someone's running.
Quick, Watson. The killer. He struck again.
Holmes, it's the Chief Warder Overbury.
Yes.
He's dead. Stabbed through the body.
Yes, quite. But note this suit of armor. It's been tipped from its standing position in the wall and fallen to the stone floor. That was the metallic sound we heard.
But I don't understand.
Uh-huh.
What is it, Holmes? What are you picking up from the floor?
Observe, Watson.
Whether it's a diamond.
Exactly. It broke off from one of the crown pieces, no doubt, when this suit of armor crashed to the floor.
Then, Holmes, the thief concealed the crown jewels in this hollow suit of armor.
Precisely. It's obvious that he was surprised in the act of recovering his loot by the chief warder here.
Then the crown jewels are still in the tower, Holmes. The garrison is guarding every gate and entrance.
Quite.
So that...
Our man has a very real problem of getting the valuables out of the tower. And therein, Watson, lies our hope of success.
Holmes, shouldn't we rouse the tower garrison? The killer was here just a moment ago.
No, my dear fellow, it'd be quite useless. The tower's a very large place, and if I know our man, he'll be much too clever to leave himself exposed for very long. Come, Watson.
Where to, Holmes?
We had better notify the chief constable of this new tragedy.
Major Markham doesn't seem to be in, Holmes. The door's ajar.
In that case, suppose we go in and wait. Rather an impressive view from this barred window here, don't you think, Watson?
Yes, Holmes.
We seem to be just above the outer wall, and the River Thames just beyond the wall. I must say, however, I find this panorama rather depressing. These grey towers, Watson, have hidden many a shriek of torture. Many a royal prisoner has languished in its dungeons. Many others came through the traitor's gate and thence to the headsman's axe. Hello, what's this?
Holmes, what are you...
Watson, note the bars on this window. Here, near the base.
Well, they've been partially filed through.
Precisely, and for a very good reason. It might be well to make a detailed study of this room while... Uh-huh.
What is it, Holmes?
Note, Watson, observe. On this wash basin...
Oh, dash it, Holmes. I don't see anything.
Don't you, Watson? Use your eyes. Here is a tiny globule of paraffin, not much larger than the head of a pin.
Paraffin?
Quite.
Well, what of it?
Everything, Watson, everything. This tiny globule of paraffin is the hinge of this entire case. It clarifies the riddle of the bogus guard Digby.
Holmes, what the devil are you talking about?
Obvious, my dear fellow, obvious.
Good evening, gentlemen. Oh, Major Markham, we're just waiting for you.
Major, I trust that you are aware that your chief warder, Overbury, has just been murdered.
Yes, Mr. Holmes, I am. One of my men found his body in the armory room. We are thoroughly combing the various towers at this moment, and we've doubled the guard at all gates and entrances.
Excellent, Major, excellent. But you must go even further than that. The crown jewels are still somewhere in London Tower.
What? You're sure of that, Mr. Holmes?
I am indeed. The killer had hidden his loot in a suit of armor in the armory room. He was surprised by Overbury, the chief warder, and murdered him. No doubt our thief has hidden the loot elsewhere.
Yes, but Holmes, how is he going to get it out of the tower? Every gate and entrance is guarded.
Yes, quite, Watson, quite. Perhaps we can tree our quarry by closing in with a rigid room-by-room search. You have the personnel to conduct this kind of search, Major Markham?
Of course. And I shall order it to begin immediately.
Excellent. Come, Watson.
Where to, Holmes?
First, to Baker Street. There's a bit of research I must do there, specifically on a certain new discovery in Vienna. After that, we shall go to Downing Street. It's high time we gave the Prime Minister a report on our findings.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, I have left an emergency meeting of the inner cabinet to see you, and I pray that you have good news.
Be of good cheer, Lord Bellinger. We've made considerable progress. I'm almost positive of the identity of the vandal who stole the jewels.
Ah, but the jewels, the crown jewels, where are they? It is imperative that they be recovered soon, Mr. Holmes. Already rumors are sweeping London. The news has somehow leaked out, in spite of the fact that the newspapers have not printed a word of the story. The Foreign Secretary and the Home Secretary are in a state of agitation, not to mention the Bank of England itself. We must find the crown jewels, Mr. Holmes, and soon we must.
Patience, Lord Bellinger, patience. If I'm not wrong in my analysis of events yet to come, we shall close this case and recover the crown jewels tonight.
Tonight, Holmes? You mean you know where they're hidden?
No, but I expect someone else will find them for me. And when he does, you and I will be waiting to receive them.
You mean Inside the tower?
On the contrary, Watson. I mean, outside the tower.
Oh, it's 2 o'clock, Holmes.
Yes.
Why the deuce are we standing outside this tower? No one can get in or out without being challenged by a guard. Anyway, it's cold enough out here by the river wall to chill the marrow of a man's bones. Why this tower watch in the dead of night?
Because, Watson, I expect the purloiner of the crown jewels to put in an appearance at any moment. Like the cornered fox, the hounds close in, and he must break away before it's too late.
But, dash it, I don't understand her.
Watson.
Eh? What is it?
Look at that window. High in the tower.
Oh, there's a man crawling through the window. Under that small rampart.
Yes, and note. There's a bag slung over his shoulder.
Yes, you're right, sir. But the deuce is...
Watson, quick. Shrink back into the shadow here.
What is the point?
Someone's just lit a match over there at the far end of the river wall. Obviously a signal.
You mean he's a Confederate?
He is indeed, and more than that. He's the brains behind this extraordinary coup. One of the cruelest and most brilliant criminals of a generation, Colonel Sebastian Moran.
What? Colonel Moran? But look, Holmes on the rampart. He's flinging the sack out into the river.
Yes.
It's landed in the water.
Yes, sir. Watson, look over there at Colonel Moran. He has a rifle.
Yes, he's pointing it at the man up there. He's been hit. He's falling, Holmes.
Quick, Watson. After him.
Halt, Moran! Halt! Holmes, he's raising his gun!
Quick, your revolver. Good shot, Watson. You winged him in the arm. He dropped his gun.
Halt, Moran! He's running along the river wall. Oh, I missed him, curse it. There's this darkness here. Holmes is going to dive into the Thames from the wall. There he goes! Well, Holmes, I'm afraid Colonel Moran made good his escape.
Yes, Watson swam underwater, no doubt, and escaped in the darkness. Man has a charmed life. Well, here we are at the spot where the sack was flung into the river from the tower window.
There's that heavy sack. How can we possibly...
When they drag the Thames for it, Watson, I have no doubt they'll find the sack filled to the brim with the crown jewels of England.
By Jove! So the man in the tower...
Was Major Markham, obviously.
Major Markham?
Yes.
He murdered Hodgkins and the chief warder and stole the crown jewels.
He did indeed. But he was only a secondary factor, an accomplice. It was the fertile brain of Colonel Sebastian Moran which hatched this clever scheme.
And Moran shot Markham because he didn't want to share in the spoil.
Precisely. Once Markham had delivered the crown jewels, Colonel Moran had no further use for him. Dropping the bag through the window was obviously a method for getting the loot out of the guarded tower. It'd be easy enough later for Colonel Moran to recover the sack with grappling irons.
Oh, dash it, Holmes, I confess I'm confused. The villain, as I understood it, was a bogus guard named Digby, with a blotchy, puffed-up white face.
Precisely, Watson. But Digby and Major Markham were one and the same man.
What?
An ingenious trick of double identity. You remember the globule of paraffin we found in Markham's quarters?
Oh, yes.
It came from a hypodermic needle. A new medical technique recently discovered in Vienna by injecting hot paraffin into the face. It's possible to change the facial contours and the shape of the features completely.
The deuce, you say?
Thus, Markham transformed himself to a puffy, white-faced guard and dubbed himself Digby. He came out of his office, killed Hodgkins, stole the crown jewels and hid them. Then he returned to his quarters and took a hot bath at the rather unusual hour of 4 o'clock in the morning.
Holmes, you mean the hot bath?
Quite. The paraffin oozes out of the pores when subjected to warm vapor and hot water. And by this method, Digby became Markham again.
And all the while, the official police were looking for a puffy, white-faced man.
Yes, it's no wonder they didn't find him, since he never really existed.
Holmes, I must congratulate you on a brilliant piece of work. Well, I suppose now we shall inform the Prime Minister that the crown jewels lie at this spot, at the bottom of the Thames, and can easily be recovered.
Exactly. But for myself, the case is not yet closed.
Oh. What do you mean, Holmes?
Colonel Sebastian Moran is still at large. But someday we shall meet again. And next time, Watson, I promise you we shall settle our account for good.
Did Holmes settle that account finally, Dr. Watson?
He did indeed, Mr. Harris. He finally brought Moran down in another adventure, the case of the empty house. I might add that Colonel Sebastian Moran was considered the best rifle shot in India, and his feat in shooting Major Markham off that tower rampart was an exceptional bit of marksmanship.
Well, Dr. Watson, it's certainly been an exciting case. And now, can you tell us something about next week's story?
Next week, Mr. Harris, I shall relate to you the famous adventure of the Speckled Band. It concerns an iron safe, a whistle in the night, and a bed that couldn't be moved.
The makers of Clippercraft clothes and more than 1,200 stores from coast to coast have brought you another in the new series of broadcasts featuring the world's most famous detective, Sherlock Holmes. Our stories are based upon the character Sherlock Holmes, created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and the program is produced and directed by Basil Luckran. Sherlock Holmes is played by John Stanley, Dr. Watson by George Spelton. This week's story was written by Max Ehrlich, with special music by Albert Berman. If you don't know your Clippercraft dealer, write Clippercraft, 200 Fifth Avenue, New York City. Be sure to listen next week to Sherlock Holmes in The Adventure of the Speckled Band. This is Cy Harris speaking for Clippercraft Clothes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
In just a moment, you'll hear Behind the Front Page. For non-stop service to Jacksonville, call Eastern Airlines. Fly to Jacksonville non-stop in 3 hours and 11 minutes. For immediate reservations, call Eastern Airlines. This is WOR, New York.
Welcome back. They go ahead and they bring in Sebastian Moran. This one was kind of interesting. I did have an inkling that guard was fake. I think anytime you're dealing with Sherlock Holmes and our expectations of him, it's really hard to find the right sort of villain. You can't just use the type of villains that show up on every other detective show. So it requires a little bit of a finesse, and it's a challenge. And so you do understand. I do understand why they keep going back to the original series and taking not only Moriarty, but now Sebastian Moran. All right, well, now we turn to a story, digitaldailyftp.com. They have episode logs of around 500 programs. Some of them we use, some of the programs, I don't know when they're going to have episode logs, but they have some good information there. And one of their latest features is their definitive Tales of Fatima log. And they include this article in there by John Crosby. And one thing he addressed, because a lot of folks have noticed the similarity between Tom Stanley and not only Tom Stanley, but John Stanley and Tom Conway, the similarity of voice. And Rathbone, according to John Crosby, said he didn't take too kindly to this imitation of him. I resent intensely the way they imitate what we did, as well as give the impression I'm still on the program. It's too bad there isn't a law against plagiarizing a man's voice. Rathbone claims he still gets hundreds of letters from people congratulating him on his performance last night as Sherlock Holmes, which he hasn't played for 3 years. And there's some other interesting insights in this article. And the lead is a very amusing quote. He said, I had to get away or Sherlock Holmes would have absorbed me completely. William Gillette, who played Holmes for roughly a generation on the stage, finally built himself a big house full of trapdoors and things and went around in a cap and cape like Holmes. Holmes is too big for anybody. And the other thing that he revealed, it doesn't make into a lot of the contemporary accounts we mainly get with Sherlock Holmes, that he was tired of, with Basil Rathbone and Sherlock Holmes, that he was tired of playing the character. He actually said he would be willing to do Sherlock Holmes, provided that they move the program to New York, and they refused to do it. The way that he put it, he said they thought I'd be back like a bad little boy. I told them it'd have to be in the East. They thought I couldn't leave all those oranges. If they knew how I loathed oranges. And so if they'd been willing to move the show to New York, Rathbone would have stayed with them. Of course, the big ironic thing is that after one season in California, they did go ahead and move the show to New York. So, it really doesn't make one think. I mean, if you had had Rathbone Bruce the entirety, the last 2.5 seasons, I think it would have made a big difference in the show. Would have commanded higher ratings, higher budgets with better writers. What might have been. I guess that leads me into listener comment on episode 739, The Well-Advertised Murder. Michael O'Brien says, "Oh dear, I don't mind John Stanley as Holmes, but the script is on the feeble side. Not one of the best. Think? Could have been different if they'd only been willing to move to New York 1 year early." Oh well, alright. Well, that will do it for today. Join us on Friday for yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and then back here on Thursday for another episode of Sherlock Holmes. Send your comments to box13 at greatdetectives.net. Well, today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all of your support. And I want to thank a couple of people who've sent along donations since the last recording. So I want to thank Clarissa. And I'd also like to thank Robin. Thank you so much for your support, and all donations of $7 or more receive access to our premium site. And now it's time for today's episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This one is called The Barton Baker Matter.
For your listening enjoyment, John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Maxwell, Johnny.
Oh, hello,
I got
Mr.
a
Max.
job for you. We
Oh, that's
Mr.
swell.
Frank Meadows lives in Newport, California. He was killed last night.
Oh, is
Shot
Max?
to death. How long will it take you to catch a plane?
Oh, it's
Look up Lieutenant Sullivan, Newport Police, when you get there, Johnny.
Yeah.
Have a good trip.
Yeah, I'll try, Mr. Maxwell.
Right now, I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to pass on a thought which, incidentally, concerns time. According to the Bible, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. We all agree on that, I'm sure. And we'll also agree that the regulation of time also depends on the season. For example, did it ever occur to you who decided where our 4 time zones in America should be exactly? Well, back maybe 75 years ago, there were about 150 different time zones which were set up according to the whim of the local inhabitants. Most of the time was called sun time, and there could be 15 minutes difference between the clocks of 2 towns only 10 miles apart. So, to get rid of the confusion, the Interstate Commerce Commission was established. It divided the United States into 4 standard time zones so that railroads, planes, buses, and the mail could run on schedule. Of course, if a city wants to go on daylight saving time during the summer, that's a decision which is made locally. The standard time remains the same everywhere else. But setting the nation's clocks isn't the only job of the Interstate Commerce Commission, however. It also makes rules and regulations for the various means of transportation which go from one state to another. It sees that railroads, truck lines, barges, and boats operate safely, charge reasonable rates, and give good, dependable service. It also protects trucks and bus drivers from working such long hours that they might fall asleep while they're driving. The Commission also demands that trains, engines, and machines have safety and stop devices. It is, in itself, a safety device to assure every one of us freedom from danger as we travel about our country.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Universal Bonding and Indemnity Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Barton Baker matter. Expense account item 1, $195.80. Plane fare and incidentals from Hartford to Los Angeles. I arrived at International Airport at 11 the morning of the 26th and rented a car there. An hour later, I was pulling into Newport, a sea town not far down the coast. At the police station, I met Lieutenant Solomon, and we discussed the case.
Frank Meadows ran a boat chartering service.
Did you know him?
Yeah. Excuse me. Open a window. Sure has been hot the last couple of days. Like a cold drink or something?
No, thanks.
Well, we got a report on the shots, and when we got there, Frank was dead. Shot 3 times. He had a gun been fired twice. Obviously shot it out with somebody.
Any suspects?
His partner, Dave Geller, owned the boat with Charlie.
What makes you think Geller did it?
Well, don't know for sure, but he's missing. Disappeared.
Nothing else?
No. That's the only thing we've got to go on.
Any reason why Geller would kill Meadows?
None that we know of. I know Dave as well as I did Frank. They always seem to get along. Never heard of any argument. But you know how those things are. A couple of guys get along fine for years, and then some little thing comes up.
Yeah.
Might be a woman.
Just a woman or some particular woman?
Frank has a wife.
And Geller?
No, he's not married.
What's Mrs. Meadows like?
Well, you got to talk to her anyway, don't you?
Yeah.
Then you can see for yourself. I'd say she was the kind that might cause a lot of trouble under the right circumstances. But that's only a personal observation. You might not think so at all. Here's the address.
Well, thanks, Lieutenant. I'll let you know.
Do that.
Ten minutes later, I was pulling up to a pleasant little house that faced the bay. Mrs. Meadows met me at the front door. I don't generally make snap judgments, but at first sight, I was inclined to go along with the lieutenant. Mrs. Meadows was very attractive. Tan, blonde, and could have been in mourning, but I doubted it, even though her tight bathing suit was black. I introduced myself, and she showed me into the living room.
Sit down, Mr. Dollar.
Thank you.
You'll have to forgive me. I've been getting some sun.
Oh, I don't mind.
I practically live in a bathing suit during the summer.
Surprised the beach isn't more crowded.
You're from the insurance company.
That's right. I was sent out to investigate your husband's death.
I'll be glad to help any way I can.
I'd appreciate it.
How much was my husband insured for?
Don't you know?
I have no idea. I knew he had insurance, but I never knew how much.
$25,000.
That much?
Should buy you a lot of sun.
When will I get it?
Well, in a case like this, a murder has to be a complete investigation. And it's generally considered proper to bury the deceased before issuing a check. By the way, when is the funeral?
It was this morning, at 8 o'clock.
What did they do? Dump him off a surfboard?
I don't think I like that, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, I'm just being a little sadistic. I always get that way when I see someone so broken up.
Would it be better if I stayed in the house for a week and wore a black veil?
Oh, no. But a little emotion would seem more natural.
Would it help if I cried?
Help who?
Mr. Dollar, my husband's dead. Anything I might do wouldn't bring him back. If you don't approve, I'm afraid that's just too bad.
Who do you think killed your husband?
I have no idea.
The police suspect his partner.
Guess it's possible. Dave's missing.
Can you think of any reason why Dave would kill your husband?
They didn't get along too well.
Lieutenant Solomon says they got along just fine.
And I say they didn't. I think I know more about it than Lieutenant Solomon.
Okay. Suppose you tell me why they didn't get along.
They just didn't. They disagreed a lot.
Over anything specific?
Not particularly. The boat, things in general. They'd known each other for years, been partners for nearly 10. Friendships wear thin sometimes. Before they left on the trip, they had an argument.
About what?
Frank didn't tell me. Just came home and said he'd had a fight with Dave. The next morning, they left. Following morning, when they returned, Lieutenant Solomon called me and said Frank had been killed.
Where did they go?
Down the coast after Yellowtail.
Who chartered the boat?
No one. They went alone.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Meadows. If you happen to hear from Dave, get in touch with the police, will you? It was going on 4 o'clock when I left Mrs. Meadows standing in the doorway in her black bathing suit. I drove to a motel on the bay and was shown to my room, where I called Lieutenant Solomon. I wanted to take a look at the boat.
You'll find it at Carlson's Landing, the J-Bell.
Mrs. Meadows says her husband and Geller went fishing for yellowtail.
Yeah.
They catch any?
They did. They didn't bring them back. No fish on the boat.
Maybe they didn't really go fishing.
Got any ideas?
No, not a one. Just a guess. Trying to create a motive.
What do you think of Mrs. Meadows?
Oh, very attractive.
But not a good enough motive?
I didn't say that. I was just trying to come up with a better one.
If you do, let me know.
After meeting Mrs. Meadows, it won't be easy. You having her watched?
If Dave Geller tries to contact her, we'll know about it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, where's a good place to eat?
You like seafood?
Oh, by the ton.
Try the restaurant right next to your motel. Via Marina. Steamed clams are great.
Lieutenant, you have just created a glutton. Expense account item 2, $6.50 for a seafood dinner. While the bucket of clams digested, I drove to Carlson's Landing, where I located the J-Bell, Meadows and Geller's trim little fishing boat. A full moon was out over the Pacific, and the J-Bell rocked gently with the motion of the tide. The landing was deserted except for a big gray cat that scurried onto one of the other boats as I walked past. I stood looking at the J-Bell for a minute, listening to the sounds of the ocean. Then I climbed aboard. The hatch leading below to the cabin was unlocked, so I opened it and went down the short ladder. The moonlight sifted in through the starboard porthole, but the rest of the cabin was in pitch darkness. I felt around for some kind of light.
Stay right where you are.
Huh?
Don't move. I got a gun.
Okay.
I can see you. If you move a finger, I'll kill you.
Okay. I'm not moving. Well, what happens? Do we stay here all night?
No. Better take a look at you. I don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Light switch is right behind you to your left. But keep facing me. Just reach back. I thought so.
You thought so what?
Baker sent you.
Baker?
You're not a cop. I know the cops in town.
You must be Dave Geller.
You know I'm Geller.
Look, my name is Dollar. I'm an insurance investigator.
Sure.
I'll show you my credentials.
Keep your hands at your sides.
I'm telling you the truth. I work for the Universal Bonding and Indemnity. Your ex-partner was insured with us.
Turn around. Put your hands over your head.
Look, I'm telling...
You look. I'm not kidding, mister.
Okay.
Now put them out in front and lean on the bulkhead.
My wallet's in the inside left coat pocket.
Insurance investigators always carry guns.
Well, most of them take them off when they go to bed.
That's very funny.
I'm glad you liked it. You'll find the permit for the gun in the wallet, and the wallet is still in my You satisfied?
Turn around. But keep your hands up.
Well, you saw the identification.
Okay, sir. You're an insurance investigator. Still doesn't help me.
Just what kind of help were you expecting?
None. I mean, now I got to do something with you. Can't let you go back to the police and tell them you found me.
They'll nail you sooner or later. They want you for murder.
Yeah, I know.
Why did you kill him?
I didn't.
Then what are you hiding for?
That's none of your business.
All right, now we're back to me. What happened?
You'll just have to stick around for a while.
Sure.
Hold it.
What's the matter?
Somebody's coming. Turn off that light, quick. You just stay where you are and don't make a sound.
Probably the police.
If it is, you're going to take me out of here.
Yeah, for a guy who's innocent.
Shut up. Right outside the boat.
Sure, that's all right. Yeah, I thought so, too. Maybe your hunch was right.
Listen, you can only say it once. If something happens to me, get to Bernie's garage, understand?
Bernie's garage?
Come aboard.
What do I do at Bernie's garage?
I don't know why I'm trusting you, but I gotta trust somebody. Tell Bernie I sent you. Ask him for the toolkit.
The toolkit?
And I didn't kill Frank. Look out, I'm going topside.
He went up the ladder and out on deck, holding his gun in front of him. I thought about trying to stop him, but he moved too fast. And besides, he had my gun stuck in his belt. I was going up the ladder when the shooting started, and being a practical man, I stopped halfway up and ducked. After a moment, I looked up through the hatch, and there, standing in the moonlight, was a tall, thin man dressed in a white suit. He was holding a gun, pointed right at my head.
Well, good evening.
Who got killed?
Your friend, Mr. Geller. And now it looks like your turn, Mr.
Dollar. Johnny Dollar.
How do you do? My name's Baker. Barton W. Baker.
You know, many great men have attained the highest office in our land, the presidency of the United States. Can you guess the name of this man? He was descended from an English family which landed in Plymouth in 1624 and was a native of Ohio. In the late 1880s, he was a newspaper editor in that state, and as senator in 1900, he opposed federal control of food and fuel. As president, he supported prohibition and backed the 19th Amendment, which gave women the voting privilege. His administration also saw the establishment of the national budget system. If you don't have his name by now, here's another clue. During his presidency, the Lincoln Memorial was dedicated. Who was he? Warren G. Harding, 29th President of the United States. His life is part of your American heritage. And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
The tall, thin man in the white suit who called himself Baker came down the ladder into the cabin. He flipped on the lights again and stood facing me, a half smile twisted on his lips. We said nothing. And after a moment, another man appeared at the hatch and called down to the white suit.
He's dead. What'll I do with him? Throw him in the ocean. Actually, I had no desire to kill Mr. Geller.
But you forced yourself.
Had he offered his cooperation, he would be alive this minute.
Yeah, he's in the water, but those shots are sure to bring somebody.
And we must expedite matters as quickly as possible. Mr. Dollar, where is the toolkit?
The toolkit?
Oh, come, Mr. Dollar. The shooting has forced me to a tight schedule. I want to know what Geller did with the tools.
Look, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hank.
Yes, sir.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh.
As you can see, Mr. Dollar, I mean to have the information one way or another.
Look,
One moment, Hank. Mr. Dollar, I was prepared to offer the late Mr. Geller $5,000 for the toolkit. I'll make you the same offer.
It's a good offer. But how can I give you something I don't know anything about?
$10,000.
I don't know anything about a toolkit.
You've been with Mr. Geller?
Sure.
I can't believe you were discussing the weather.
Oh, hardly. I'm an insurance investigator. I'm investigating Frank Meadows' murder.
Can you prove it?
Certainly.
Something wrong?
My wallet is in Geller's pocket.
I'm not lying. I think Geller sent for you and told you where he hid the toolkit.
Look, I found Geller hiding on the boat. He pulled a gun on me and
Time is too short. Hank.
Now, look, I'm telling you that... Oh!
Where is it?
I don't know.
The toolkit, Mr. Dollar.
I don't know anything about it. Baker's handyman beat me until I was asleep, trying to make me give up the information Geller had passed on a few minutes before he was killed. I don't know how long I was out, but when I came to, I could hear breakers. I was lying on the beach looking up at the big moon and feeling my head throb as though it was stuck on the end of a drumstick. Well, I managed to sit up and look around. I had no idea where I was, but a long groove in the sand that stretched away from me showed clearly that I'd been dragged from the street several hundred feet behind me. I stumbled to my feet, and that's when I saw her. Walking along by the water, headed my way, her soft blonde hair blowing in the casual breeze. She was barefoot and wearing white shorts and a terry cloth shirt. I guess it was a little cool for the black bathing suit. She stopped when she saw me.
Oh, good evening.
Hello.
Mr. Dollar, you're bleeding.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
What are you doing out here?
I'm waking up. What are you doing?
I was just taking a walk. But your face, it's all bruised.
How far is your house?
Down the beach, about a mile.
You think you could scare up some iodine?
Yes. Come on.
Oh. Still a little dizzy.
Here, put your arm around me. Better?
Much? I leaned on Mrs. Meadows while she steered me toward her house. Her hair smelled clean and fresh with just a touch of perfume. In the house, she found the iodine and touched up the sore spots.
It's so hurt.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. All right, I'll make it.
What in the world happened?
You know a man named Baker?
Baker? Well, no.
Runs around with a handyman named Hank.
No, I've never heard of him.
I found Dave Geller tonight.
Where?
On the J-Bell.
On the J-Bell? Why would he go there?
Best place to hide. Last place the police would look.
Did he do this to you?
Oh, no. Hank did. With Baker's blessings.
But why?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. When I found Geller, he was hiding on the J-Bell. He pulled a gun on me. Then Baker and Hank showed up, and it turned into a shooting match. Do you know anything about some kind of a toolkit?
Toolkit?
I know it sounds silly, but Geller got killed for it. I nearly took the same trip.
Because of a toolkit? I don't see what...
Before Geller got killed, he told me to go to Bernie's garage.
That's on Maple Street.
He told me to tell Bernie that he sent me and to ask for the toolkit.
I still don't understand what's so important about a toolkit.
I don't know, but something is. Your husband was probably killed for the same reason.
What are you going to do?
Go over to Bernie's garage and take a look at this toolkit. Do me a favor.
Certainly.
Call Lieutenant Solomon and tell him where I've gone. Tell him to meet me there.
All right.
Oh, I haven't got a car. Still down at the landing.
Use mine. I'll get you the key.
Thanks. I drove her car over to the garage on Maple Street, parked it, and got out. The garage was open, and the sign over the door read 24-hour service. I went in and found a mechanic stretched out on a bench, sound asleep. Hey. Hey. Come on. Wake up.
Okay. I'm up. No, I'm awake. Guess I'm really knocking it off.
Where can I find Bernie?
You just woke him up.
Dave Geller sent me over.
That's all?
Yeah. He said to pick up the toolkit.
He did, eh?
Yeah, he did. Now, where's the toolkit?
How'd I know Dave sent you?
Because I said he did. Something so important about a toolkit?
Heck, no. But when Dave left us here, he said be sure and don't give it to no one except him. I can't just hand it over to you because you tell me Dave sent you. You better have Dave call me.
He'd have a hard time talking with his mouth full of water.
What you mean?
He was killed and dumped in the bay. Now, Lieutenant Solomon will be here in a few minutes, so wheel out that toolkit.
Dave was killed?
That's right.
First Frank and then...
The toolkit, huh? Well, what's the matter?
You a cop?
No, I'm not a cop.
Then I'm sorry.
I'm an insurance investigator. I'm investigating 2 murders, Frank Meadows and Dave Geller.
Insurance investigator. Well, that's kind of like a cop, ain't it?
Everything but the feet.
Got any identification?
Now, look, are you going to get that tool, kid, or do I have to...
Okay, no, you don't have to get rough. I'll get it. It looks like somebody got kind of rough with you.
Yeah, kind of.
I got it stored in the parts department. How come you're so interested in a bunch of tools?
You seen them?
No. Box is locked tight. There it is. It's a plain old toolkit.
Yeah. You got something I can bust this lock?
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Crowbar or something.
Well, maybe we better wait for Lieutenant Solomon. If you ain't got a key,
Will you get me that crowbar?
Okay. It's against my principles. If Dave wanted you to pick up the kid, he should have called.
He's dead. Remember?
Oh, yes. Do you know who killed him?
Man named Baker.
Here's your bar.
Thanks.
Baker? Never heard of him. Oh, hey, I got a customer.
Might be selling.
Yeah.
I lifted the lid and looked in. I couldn't have been more surprised. Because there in the box was exactly what I didn't expect to find. Tools. About 50 of them. All sizes, brand new. All the tools were painted black. But on the handle of a large wrench, there was a small space that had been scraped down to the metal. I picked the wrench up and looked at it more closely. Took out a pocket knife and scraped some shavings from the metal. I stood up and held the shavings under the light. And then I understood a whole lot of things. The shavings were solid platinum.
Hey, mister, you got visitors.
We meet again, Mr. Dollar.
It was Barton W. Baker, complete with white suit, gun, and bodyguard. He looked at the platinum wrench I held in my hand, smiled, and moved slowly across the room toward me.
I couldn't help it, mister. They held a gun on me and made me take them back here.
Get up. Take the old man out to the garage, Hank, and guard him until I'm finished with Mr. Dollar.
Yes, sir.
Honest, mister, I'm
Go
sorry.
on, old man. Go on.
Well, Mr. Dollar, you were lying to us. I thought so.
That's why you let me live, so I'd lead you here.
Precisely.
The tools are platinum.
Of course. But you knew that.
Geller just told me where to find them. I had no idea what they were.
Well, I'm afraid your curiosity will be short-lived.
I kind of thought that was the way it was. You killed Frank Meadows because he discovered the secret of the tools.
Yes. If he had simply picked me up and landed me as he was paid to do,
I take it you're an alien, Mr. Baker?
Correct.
Would I know your government, Mr. Baker?
Unless you happen to be deaf, dumb, and blind. Now, if you'll just proceed with me back to the garage.
One more question.
Yes?
How did Dave Geller get hold of the kit?
He and Meadows were offered a large sum of money for picking me up on the other side of the border. Aboard the boat, Geller grew suspicious of the kit, and knowing that I could not possibly notify the authorities of its theft, he forced me at gunpoint to go ashore and leave the kit with him. Fortunately, I got to a phone and notified our operatives in Los Angeles. They met the boat when it docked.
And killed Meadows, but Geller escaped.
Correct. Now, Mr. Dollar, I'm in a great hurry.
Well, I missed another shooting, but so did Baker, for that matter. When Hank yelled, Baker turned just enough to give me a chance to swing the heavy platinum wrench.
What's it all about, Dollar?
I thought you'd never get here, Lieutenant.
Mrs. Meadows called and said to get right over.
You know something? I think you owe her an apology.
Okay, so she'll get an apology after you tell me who the guy on the floor is and who the guy was I had to kill in the garage.
Here. Have a platinum wrench.
A what?
Yeah. Mr. Baker is going to have one very expensive headache. On the way over to my motel, I explained the events to Solomon, who did a little mumbling and shaking himself. Then, after a fresh shower and a change of clothes, I went over to Mrs. Meadows and expressed my most heartfelt thanks. Expense account item 3, $176.85. Motel bill and expenses for the next 2 days while I hung around Newport resting up. I saw Mrs. Meadows a few times before I left, but for some reason I didn't get much of a tan. Expense account items 5 and 6, $225 car rental, plane fare, and incidentals back to Hartford. Expense account total, $604.15. Oh, yes. Barton Baker comes up for trial on illegal entry, smuggling, and 3 counts of espionage. I hope he enjoys his stay in the USA. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Welcome back. Well, a beautiful young widow and spies from a country you would know about. I just have to chuckle a bit at both Cold War and World War II stories that will, on occasion, dance around who you're talking about when it's obvious. A country has spies in the country that we would know about. It's 1953. This guy that apparently is not from China. I wonder who it could be. Soviets. And it turns out that the rich widow just deals with grief a little differently, so that's all good. All right, well, listener comments and feedback. We have this from Sue, who says that I'm looking forward to at last getting to the Bob Bailey episodes of Johnny Dollar. I was never a fan of Edmund O'Brien in the role, and find John Lund tolerable but not memorable. There's just something about the energy and personality Bob Bailey brought to the role that we're missing in the other two. I've heard a lot of Bailey's Dollar episodes, but I know I haven't heard all of them, and it will be interesting to go through them in broadcast order. Well, thanks so much. I've not heard all of Bob Bailey's either. I've heard, I think, maybe 2 or 3 of the post 15-minute series, and I've heard all of the 15-minute episodes. It'll be definitely entertaining. I liked O'Brien as kind of a tough guy, Johnny Dollar, but I know that approach isn't for everyone. Not memorable. I think that's a good way to describe John Lund. I've been pleasantly surprised. Because, when I was listening to, and reading what people had to say about the John Lund, Johnny Dollar, era, there were a lot of comments, that made you think this is not going to be good. In fact, it was, so questionable on that end. I actually listened to, I think, 2 or 3 John Lund episodes before I made a decision as to whether I was actually going to, podcast them. They are not the most exciting radio. If I had to compare it to another show, I'd have to say it'd be comparable maybe to a mix of Crime and Peter Chambers with maybe a little Dragnet mixed in. So I'm definitely looking forward to this, but I do appreciate, I think, the talent and the professionalism that John Lund maintained throughout the whole series. Well, that will actually do it for today. Tomorrow, our 750th episode special, and we revisit a series we played. Listener sent me an episode of Pete Kelly's Blues. It's not a new plot, but it was a new performance to us. It's the Audition recording from Pete Kelly's Blues. And we will be playing that as our 750th episode special, so be sure and listen to that. And then we join us back here on Monday for Frank Race, and then on Friday it'll be time once again for yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Today's episode is brought to you by the support of our listeners. Thank you so much for all of your support. And for our 750th episode special, we're actually going to revisit a show we just finished playing, Pete Kelly's Blues. We played all 6 episodes I could find of Pete Kelly's Blues. However, listener Joan Richards in Canada pointed me to an additional Pete Kelly's Blues recording. Now, we've heard the plot before, but the music is quite a bit different. As the Digital Deli points out, they have an entirely different arrangement of songs. And of course, the music was a big part of Pete Kelly's Blues. Plus, they changed a couple of minor points in the plot. Not big points, minor. There was a New Year's Eve party where Pete Kelly and the band played. In addition, this episode features the piano player being known as Augie, and also features William Conrad as a heavy, which is always a nice feature. So we're going to head back to Cherry Street in Kansas City for Pete Kelly's Blues with Jack Webb. This was recorded sometime in February of 1951, and it's the audition recording of the show Gus Trudeau.
This one's about Pete Kelly. It's about the world he goes around in. It's about the big music and the big trouble and the big 20s. When they ask you, tell them this one's about the blues. Pete Kelly's Blues. Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Jim Moser, music by Dick Cathcart.
Number 417 Cherry Street is a standard speakeasy. The help is paid in cash. The books are burned at the end of the month. Every week we use 30 cases of booze and a pound of coffee. After salaries, there's gas and lights and a payoff to the Prohibition boys. In Kansas City, the price is good. For $100, they steer in the drunks and make one raid a year. The place is run by George Lupo. He's a quiet little guy who wouldn't give you the sweat off an ice pitcher. The beer's green and the gin's as young as yesterday and the music's loud. I'm Pete Kelly. I play cornet. We start every night about 10 o'clock and we play till they sweep out the broken glass. We don't draw any customers. We don't chase any away. The music is straight New Orleans. Started in the front parlors of Storyville and drifted up north. Some of it laid over in Chicago. That's where I got on. Wrote it out here with a piano player named Augie. Well, he's still with the band, but last night he was barely with it. We took a break about 11. Augie was late getting back. Might as well have stayed in there because he kept looking around the room, and the way the piano sounded, you'd think he had on a catcher's mitt.
All right, that'll do it. Let's get off for a while, huh?
Sorry, Pete. Running a little behind tonight.
You haven't left the station. What's the matter, Augie?
I'm nervous. Take a look around. Near the door, back this way.
Well, forget it. Have Jake open a couple of windows. Take a walk. Get yourself in shape, huh?
Not till I find out which way to fall. Boys are here for heavy duty. I learned that out in the kitchen.
Now, let's duck behind the stand. All right, what about it?
You know Dutch Courtney?
I drink his beer, that's all.
Well, somebody shot Courtney up tonight out near Highway 40.
That's too bad. He'd have drawn a good crowd downtown. Who killed him?
I don't know, but whoever he is, he's in for a big night. The police are trying for him. So's his partner.
Well, let him play. How does our place fit into it?
I couldn't guess, but we'll find out soon. See the big guy that just walked in the door?
Yeah, boss cop?
Almost. It's Eddie Newman, Dutch Courtney's partner.
Come on, we better get back on the stand.
Kelly.
Yeah.
My name's Newman. Come outside.
Well, we're due to play.
I'll hear you later. Come on. You hear about Dutch Courtney?
Picked him out of the mud tonight.
Means nothing to me.
Does to me. Dutch was a friend.
Well, if it'll help, cry.
I'm short on time, Kelly. Now, give me a rundown on Gus Trudeau.
There's nothing to say. He played for a while and he went to the boneyard.
You know him? You know his sister?
You'll have to ask Courtney about that. I haven't seen her since the old days.
You knew Gus well enough to figure he didn't like Dutch Courtney. He didn't like him 1 pound.
Well, you can't blame him. Dutch sidestepped and paid Trudeau's way to jail.
Bookkeeping. I don't know anything about it.
All right, look, Newman, you're on the wrong track. This is a job killing. Your boy got frisky and somebody sent down a Chicago gun. The price tag shows.
Sorry, Trudeau's my pick.
What did he hit him with? A high-powered rifle? Gus Trudeau's away up in Leavenworth.
He used to be. Gus went over the wall this morning. When he shows up, I want him.
Well, why pick me?
Now, ask around. He'll head for you. He's broke. He'll need train fare.
No, not if he killed Dutch Courtney. Somebody will give him a railroad. When they dragged the blues out of the back room and moved them up front, there were 3 of the best leading the parade. They were all blowing cornets. One was Buddy Bolden, one was King Oliver, and the other was Gus Trudeau. Oh, he was a lot of music, but not much man. He picked me up on a union date on the south side of Chicago and taught me how to play. He got into me for a Boston 3-star cornet and gin for the rest of his life. When he got down to running errands for Dutch Courtney, I left for Kansas City. A couple of months later, Courtney needed a patsy, and Trudeau was it. He wound up with a 5-year stand at Leavenworth. But Gus never felt right unless he was in trouble. Only this time he cut me in for a piece, too. Well, I picked up a drink at the bar and fought my way back to the stand.
Anything wrong?
No. Did you finish the set?
One more to go, Jazzy.
All right, let's do it.
What's wrong, Tim?
A friend of ours killed Dutch Courtney. Jasmine. Let's get off for a while.
Now, who did you say killed Dutch Courtney?
That's Trudeau.
What with? Where? Trudeau's in jail.
No, not since this morning.
Which one of you is Kelly?
I am.
A friend of yours in town wants to see you right away.
Who is it?
He's waiting up at your room.
Did he give a name?
Just Gus.
An hour later, I was still looking for an out. It was a little after 2 a.m. Our base man, Red, loaned me his car keys, and I slipped out. I got on to 12th Street and picked up his Erskine coupe and headed up for my room. All the way out Grand Avenue, the streetlights were spending the rest of New Year's alone. Some guys with wide brooms were pushing at the confetti, and the fog was loafing down Washington Square. When I got to my place, I parked the car in back and headed up the stairs. College kids down at the end of the hall had their door open. Their party sounded young. I was looking for Gus when I opened the door, but he had a substitute. I knew her way back at 18th and Halstead. She was pretty and the fastest sprint in town. It must have been a long time ago, because somewhere along the line she'd run into a batch of Wednesday weekends. She wasn't pretty anymore.
Hello, Pete.
Where's your brother?
I don't know where Gus is. That's why I'm here. I knew you'd be the first one he'd come to.
Yeah. Now what about the break?
I was up to see him 2 weeks ago. He didn't say anything about it. Pete, we've got to help him.
I've been hearing that since I met him.
You're the only one who remembers, Pete. You're the only one who cares.
Yeah, well, a lot of people care now. Eddie Newman wants him. The cops are looking hard.
I've got to find him before they do. You got to help Pete.
He was supposed to meet me. That's all I know. I'll wait for him.
He needs a hand, Pete. He's in deep.
Yeah, well, he's always in deep. Now, you do what you want, Madge. I ran front for Gus too long. I'm out of the habit now.
Please.
Gus wants cover. He can look for a police station.
Gus can get away. Some money and a car. That's all he needs.
It's going to take more than that to get out. Every cop in town's working tonight.
Oh, give him a chance, Pete. Help him.
No, thanks.
Gus has been good to you, Pete. He taught you music. He's been nothing but good to you.
I'm paid up. I bought his gin for 5 years.
Then do it for me. For what I used to be with.
No, it's old. It was 80 years ago. I can't help this.
Do it for me. I haven't changed that much.
I have.
You're still the same.
You've been working at it.
You remember.
Yeah.
The same beating. Just like the first time.
You never had a first time. How about a drink?
Will you help me, Pete? Find Gus. Get him out of town.
All right, $10. As far as I go, $10 and a quarter. Now I'm getting off.
Where you going?
Back to work. Tell Gus to take care of himself.
Hold it right there, Pete.
You stay too long in Chicago, Madge.
I bought the gun in Kansas City. Don't go for the door.
You better give it to Gus. He may need it.
We're going to find him. You're going to help me.
All right, come on. Give me the gun, Madge.
If I shoot, it'll hurt.
Yeah. Come on. Put it away, Madge.
Oh, stop it.
Who is she?
We'll trade. Who are you?
Cage. I work downtown on homicide. Who you got on your floor?
Madge Trudeau.
Tell me about her.
I knew her in Chicago. After that, I heard she did favors for Dutch Court. After that, I don't know.
Is she tired? What's she doing here?
Looking for Gus Trudeau.
Where is Gus?
I don't know. I've been asked that twice tonight. This is the third time I don't know.
You probably will.
Why? Why do I have to get into this?
Because you're Gus Trudeau's friend.
Then let's get him another one. I'm tired of the job.
I don't blame you, fella. You'll come out of this with a lot of trouble.
For instance?
I'll make it simple. If Gus Trudeau shows and you turn him over to Newman, we'll send you up as an accessory to murder. If he shows and you turn him over to us, Newman will probably kill you.
Oh, that's real good. In the meantime, what do you guys do for a living?
We're busy. We couldn't prove Newman killed you. It's after 2. Get back to that club.
Leave you here?
I got work to do.
Like what?
This woman. I'll see if I can get anything out of her.
Oh, it's been done before, but I'll bet 10 to 1 in your case.
Go on back. I'll tidy up.
Good night, cop. Leave the rugs. I left Cage standing in the middle of the room looking down at Madge Trudeau. He didn't watch me leave, but I figured it wouldn't be too long before he'd turn that gleam back on me. Well, I went back to 417 and ran into our piano man, Augie, outside in the alley trying to steal some clean air.
Happy holidays, Petey. How's Gus?
How did you see him?
Oh, forget him. I got it all figured out for the two of us, Petey. Today we'll spend our time dodging destiny. We'll hit for some small back room. I'll bring the bottled goods, and we'll live on gin and sauerkraut and make the walls sit up and listen. 1 horn, 1 piano. The blues, Petey. We'll write them in the middle of next year.
All right, save it. Will you just set me straight?
Right now, across the river, there's 2 places. The High Life Club or Fat Annie's.
You sure he's there?
That's what the word is. I'll pass the hat down at the Union Hall for both of you.
Is Gus alone over there?
He is now, but there's going to be a crowd.
What do you mean?
I told you.
Yeah.
When Eddie Newman gets back, I got to tell him.
I knew it was a silly move. Newman had 100 guns on tour for Gus. Cage and the boys from headquarters were standing by for seconds. Helping Gus Trudeau was out of order, but I couldn't get one thing out of my mind. If Gus did kill Courtney, why didn't he pick up some travel money before he did it? I was backward. If you're going to hang up your pants, you take them off first. Well, it was about 3 a.m. when I got down to the river and crossed over to the Kansas side. The High Life Club was smoked up and had a little of everything, except Gus Trudeau. I looked in the kitchen and tried a back room. Then I went to the bar to see if I could drum up some talk. I had one taker, a boy with wavy black hair. He got up from a table of 3 others, walked over and sat down next to me.
Hello. Come in your office?
No, it's the first time.
Welcome. Buy a drink?
No, I'm all set. Try one yourself.
Oh, I think drinking's all right, but I hate people who drink too much, don't you?
You work here?
Well, not regularly. Sometimes I dance and the other act doesn't show up. You here long? Waiting for someone?
Waiting for a guy named Gus Trudeau.
You one of his friends?
Ahmet. Where is he?
He left a while ago. I'm not sure where he
Well,
went.
get sure. It's important.
You mentioned someone named Bessie.
Right, hold it.
What do you hear, Kelly?
All right, get away, Newman. Try another stool.
This'll do.
If he asks you to leave, I think you should leave.
Well. Quiet, boy. That's nice.
Leave him alone.
Who is he?
I never saw him before.
What's he know about Trudeau?
Nothing.
Don't kid me. You're not here to spend the time of day. You're here for Trudeau. You, little friend, where's Gus Trudeau?
I don't have to talk to you. I'm a guest in this place.
You're not anymore. Now climb down and head for that door, both of you.
You can't make us do that. We're not going to leave.
Split boat, Buster. I don't like the way he pushes.
That's right. Just walk. I'll bet you look good.
I knew right then. As we walked out, I knew Eddie Newman wasn't going to leave him alone. He was going to pick at him, whether he knew anything about Gus Trudeau or not. It was going to get messy, and the boy with the nice eyes was going to help. Outside, it wasn't snowing anymore, but the ground was covered right down to the river. The moon out, and it looked all right if you like nature. We walked over toward a bunch of trees. Newman's car was parked there, a black touring sedan with a strong-arm guy in the back seat. There was another one sitting on the running board. He had a machine gun across his lap.
This'll do. All right. Now let's hear about Gus Trudeau.
I don't know anything about him. This man and I were just talking.
Go easy, Newman. I never saw him before.
Does he always talk to strangers? Bet he does.
None of your business.
Where's Gus Trudeau?
I wouldn't tell you. Suppose I knew, I wouldn't tell you.
Oh, yes, you would.
Get your hands off of me.
Stop pressing, Newman. You don't care about Trudeau now. You just don't like this guy.
Stay out, Kelly. Come here, you. Stop screeching. I'll break your arm off.
Keep your hands off of me, you big, dirty pig.
You're in trouble, fella. Shut up.
He is a pig. His hands are dirty and his teeth are dirty. No pity, even his clothes are dirty. Oh,
Now lay there. All right, Dave, move in here. Back away, Kelly. You're up, choir boy.
Please, mister, do something. Don't let a thing like this happen.
It already has, Buster. Come on, Dave. It's getting cold.
Newman climbed into the car and they drove off. I stayed there a minute to look at the guy in the snow. His face was unmarked. I did him a favor. I rolled him over so it showed in the moonlight. I knew his mother'd want him to look good the night Eddie Newman's chopper squad cut him down. Well, the name Bessie had to mean Fat Annie's place up the river on the Kansas side. I made it there and found Bessie. She was back at the piano wandering around somewhere in the middle of the blues. You couldn't miss that voice if she took up yodeling. Bessie Smith.
Hi, Pete.
Hi, Bessie. What do you know?
Round back, Pete. You go up the stairs, the loft. Way up there at the top.
Thanks, Bessie.
Okay, Pete. All right, Pete.
I felt my way out around back and up a couple of flights of stairs that didn't creak in time with the music. There was a door at the top. I pushed it open. He was hunched back on a pile of hay in the corner. He sat up and blinked a couple of times. There wasn't much left, just a frame. And rattling around inside, a lot of tired echoes that wouldn't lay down and die. There was an empty gin bottle on the floor.
Petey, I knew you'd get here.
Yeah, well, they didn't make it easy.
You're looking good, Petey. Everything's 6 to an even, huh?
You forget easy, Gus. You're in a jam. You broke jail.
Yeah, I told him all about you up there, Petey. I told him there's another Gus Trudeau blowing down in Kansas City. I'm proud of you, Pete.
Yeah, sure, Gus.
You're just like me, Pete. I told him all about you. You're the only good thing I ever done. I knew you'd come through. Car and some money, Pete. It'll do everything. It'll make it all new. Is it too much to ask? You tell me, Pete.
They want you for Dutch Courtney.
You know better, Pete. I didn't kill Dutch.
Well, you had a reason.
Did I? I forget.
He hung a frame on you, Gus. 5 years worth, remember?
I didn't kill Dutch. Get me a drink, boy.
No, not tonight.
Don't preach at me. Just something to help me over.
Oh, yeah, now come in out of the fog, Gus. You're going to get a drink or a train ticket from me. Take your pick, because it's the last time around.
Just listen to that. Bessie's still going strong, ain't she?
Yeah, and so are the cops. I got one idea for you, Gus. Get moving.
Remember Chicago, Pete? You and Madge. Chicago always liked me.
You checked out, Gus. Biderbeck's got your chair.
They'll remember me and you, Petey. I found you when you were nothing.
What are you going to do? Where are you going?
I got it all set up. It's big and brand new. Place in Mexico.
Yeah?
The guy who bunked in my cell with me, his mother runs a place down there. It'll be just like it used to be.
You won't get there on a gin bottle.
I got it set up, boy. A car and some money. It's not much to ask. Haven't got a drink here yet.
You can drink in Mexico. Where you dreaming up the car and the dough?
It's fixed, boy. You just see this guy and tell him I'm ready. Abe Gaffney. He's got a place on Pershing Road. You know it?
Yeah, I know it. Abe's doing all this?
Just tell him I'm ready. How's Madge?
She's all right.
Come and see me, huh? It's hot down in Mexico.
Gets hot here.
What's the matter, Pete? You ain't sore, are you?
No, I ain't sore. I'm just tired. I'll tell Gaffney, and then I'm checking out. Goodbye, Gus.
You're not getting too big for your old friends, are you, boy?
Friends are like everything else, Gus.
Yeah?
They wear out on you. It wasn't any different than a dozen times before. I knew there wasn't very much left, but I wasn't looking for a second-rate ghost with an empty gin bottle. I crossed the river to the Missouri side, headed down Main Street, and then I swung over toward Abe Gaffney's place on Pershing Road. It was pushing close to 5:30 a.m. Sun wasn't up yet, and the night was too tired to care. I pulled up in front of the Murad sign out in front of Gaffney's. Inside, a counterman with pimples and coffee was leaning on last night's paper. A beaded curtain shut off the hallway that led back to Gaffney's room.
You want something?
Yeah, Gaffney.
Not here.
Where do I find him?
I don't know.
I was supposed to meet him here.
That's so.
Look, this is Gaffney's place. Where is he?
I told you.
Now, listen, Junior. Maybe you think you do a good imitation of Calvin Coolidge, but I want an answer. Where's Gaffney?
What's your name?
Kelly.
You could have saved an argument this way. Through the curtain.
When do you go to bed, Kelly?
Still looking, Newman?
Still asking. Where's Gus?
I don't think he'd give me time to answer.
There's a good reason why I let you walk away tonight. I gave you 2 hours all by yourself on the Kansas side. I don't think you threw him away. You got a line on Gus Trudeau, and I want it.
I got nothing for you.
Don't be silly, Pete. The cops get him or I do. He goes either way.
You get no help from me.
I don't want help. I want Gus. Now, come on! Come on! Come on, or I'll make you part of the wallpaper.
You better send for Dave.
I don't need it.
I think you do. Now, don't bother to get up. I'm leaving.
I don't believe it. Wasn't your turn, Kelly.
When I got up off the floor, the room was cold and the lights were out. Newman was gone, but I knew he was still in business. I knew if he didn't find Gus Trudeau this trip, he'd come back for me. Well, I got into Red's car and followed the radiator cap back to 417. I found Austin back at the stand eating breakfast.
Did you bring an egg, Petey? Kitchen's closed down.
Newman been back here?
I haven't noticed. You look abused.
Yeah. Did anybody say anything?
Oh, miss. You heard the news?
What's that?
They found the guy who got Dutch Courtney. Fellow by the name of Doyle, East St. Louis. Cops got the goods on it. Guns, fingerprints, the works.
What was his beef with Dutch?
Doyle owned East St. Louis. Dutch wouldn't believe it.
Leave it to Gus. If there's a hole, he'll fall in it.
Makes it easier, doesn't it? Newman will call his boys off now.
Somebody better tell him in a hurry.
Did you see Gus?
Yeah, I saw him. He's trying to get out of town. That's right.
Dave Gaffney.
You're a hard man to find.
Newman came in the front door. I went out the back. Shouldn't take long. Car, keys, and money for Gus.
Oh, you got the wrong guy, Abe. I quit an hour ago.
Fight it out with yourself. Car's out in the alley. Gray Chandler. Tell Gus it's low on gas.
Now, wait a minute. You can take this stuff to Gus. You know where he is.
No, thanks. You take care of Gus. He's an old friend.
What's the matter with you?
I hardly know him.
The clock over the bar said 6:15. We got back on the stand and started the last set. 80 pounds of stale cigarette smoke was holding up the ceiling, waving down on a dirty blue curtain over the dance floor. Behind the bar, one of the guys was wiping up. Two couples picked their way to the dance floor, pushed each other around a while, and finally gave up. Oh, the whole thing, it was all out of step. Wrinkled stockings, brown gardenias, torn paper hats, and Gus Trudeau. He walked in the door and stood off to one side, just back of the stand.
Hey, Pete. Gus got here. He's safe now.
Don't make book on it. All right, last one. The blues in B flat. All right, that's it. Same call tonight, 10 o'clock. You can talk.
Hey, Petey, over here. I heard you. It sounds good, Pete. Just what I told him up there. You're on your way, boy.
All right, now you heard it, Gus. Here's the money. In the car, please. I'll see you, Gus.
You know what I told him? Another Gus Trudeau is blown down to Kansas City.
Yeah.
All right, boy.
Happy New Year, Gus.
Bye, man.
Hold it there, Pete. The family fight. Stay out.
I thought I took that gun away from you.
What's the matter, man? What are you doing?
Don't tell me that talk, Gus. Dutch can't hear you.
What do you mean, man?
You killed him. You blew your top and killed him just like you did everything else for me. You and that gin and that cheap brass horn of yours. You spent us all, Pete and me. You ran through the whole bunch till you got to Dutch.
I didn't do it.
You killed Dutch Courtney. I loved him. I loved him enough to square it.
You got it wrong, Madge.
Goodbye, Gus. I'll tell him to throw your horn in after you.
Read the paper, Madge. You killed the wrong brother.
Stay away, Pete.
It's in the paper, Madge. Guy by the name of Doyle. He killed Dutch.
They're not sure. Are they?
They're sure.
What'll I do?
I got two things for you, Madge. And the car keys. Now you see what you can do with 10 minutes start.
You didn't have anything more for Gus, did you, Steve?
No, I guess not.
Well, you need it.
Oh, Gus finally got out of town.
Pete Kelly's Blues, starring Jack Webb, with story by Jim Moser, music by Dick Cathcart, scoring by Matty Matlock. Pete Kelly's Blues is based on characters created by Richard L. Breen.
Welcome back. Well, Conrad, always a fierce villain. Now, it's kind of interesting to me just because I've gotten used to Conrad as canon on TV. Good guy role, but this definitely shows another side of his ability to play these brutal sort of characters. And that went right back to the 1940s with his appearance in The Killers, that classic film with Burt Lancaster and, of course, Edmund O'Brien, among many others. All right, well, that will do it for our 750th episode special. Join us on Monday for the adventures of Frank Race. In the meanwhile, send your comments to Box 13 at greatdetectives.net. Give us a call, 208-991-4783. But from Boise, Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off. Idaho, this is your host, Adam Graham, signing off.